There we go.
Oh, there we go.
We're live.
All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to the Arcade Hangout, and we come at you most of the time Tuesday nights around 8 p.m. Pacific, and so here we are.
Whatever.
What's
Episode 8099.
Oh yeah. What episode are we on? 90.
We're on 95.
95. Episode 95. All right. So I don't know what else to say.
We're gonna talk about Grinkers and then.
Oh yes.
Grinkers, we do have a question for the night, even though it's
What is it?
Biggest regret, I think.
Biggest purchase regret.
Oh,
I thought we were talking something else.
That was a big regret.
Yeah. So I got
one of those.
So, I mean, do we start with the question, or what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
Let's start talking about Grinkers.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's 2 weeks away. Like,
yep. All right.
Okay. How many people do we have so far?
I think as of today, we're about 135. I think I got another one. I just checked a little while ago. Yeah. There's one more that popped up. I think I haven't updated it yet, but yeah. So looking good. 135.
Plus goal. That's enough. He's bringing somebody, so that's 136.
She's on there. I think she's 135. Yeah. Yep. So the games we've kind of narrowed down most of the way what the games are going to be.
So we got rid of a bunch.
Yeah. You know, I knew that kind of thing was going to happen. You know, Clint always has to veto some games. You know, for whatever reason, they can be marathon or have continued features or glitches that can be, you know, taken advantage of. Like for Andrew's hammer.
I was fighting for it too, because like it seems to me that's gonna be like such a perfect, like, I don't know, not a perfect. It's a hard game, so we're not gonna see like a bunch of huge scores. And the one, so we're talking about 720. So the one glitch that he's talking about is the B glitch, and that's this one thing where like if you get just the right jump off of a thing, and then with its weird isometric game, if you manage to land like outside the fence or on the fence or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about the half pipe trick?
No. This is where, like, in Skate City. So at some point, the game basically loses track of where your sprite is.
Ooh.
So when the timer runs out, which is like normally like 30 seconds in Skate City. So when the timer runs out, the bees come after you, right? Like just like Paperboy. So, but the bees, because the game doesn't know where you're at, it's your offset. Your hitbox basically is offset from your sprite. So the bees will be swarming around you and hitting you, but they won't kill you. And so you can just go around Skate City and rack up points forever.
Oh, wow.
Literally, until the game like falls apart.
Yeah, you
slots into the ground.
I mean, that's like 100% exploiting.
Yeah,
it is.
Right.
But so to me, that's like, I mean, so Clint's, that's why he vetoed it. It was like, because there's this one exploit in the game,
and there's one on Paperboy actually, I believe, like right at the end of the track. There's something about you can veer off to one side if you do it just right.
Oh well, we got to tell Clint about that because he's going to veto Paperboy for it.
That's not the same on Paperboy. What it is at the end of the training course, before you get to the grandstand where everybody's sitting and cheering, you can swerve to the right and just get between the grandstand and the fence. And the game actually loops around, and you go all the way up the street again, and the game's all crashed. The graphics are all fucked up, but the score you get is like 1.2 pentillion. I mean, it's just like it's so obvious that you've fucked with the game. So it's never like you
house. What you're talking about?
And that's the same thing with the B glitch on 720. Like if you saw like someone would be sitting there playing the game basically with the bees not able to kill them, and they'd just be in Skate City, not going to parks, just sitting there racking up points the whole time. It's it would be really obvious if you're cheating.
They could pull off, as long as the points looked legit when they walked away and no one saw them doing it, they could potentially get away with it.
It's theoretically possible if they knew like when to draw the line.
Yeah, in the Paperboy one, you couldn't do that. I mean, the second you go into that crash street, your score is it's just I mean, hardly anyone in the world can score above like 150,000 on Paperboy. There's like 2 people that can do it. So, and when you've got 400 billion, it's kind
of could 720 be a NAT game?
It could be, but I don't know how we'd play it as a NAT.
Yeah, that's why I threw it out there because I didn't have any solutions. But
how come they allow games like Roston when there's continues on that?
Yeah, there's gray areas there, you know. Like
I think
we've had we've had Moon Patrol in tournaments too, and that one has
continues. Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just did Clint it get under his radar or not? I guess is part of it.
Definitely a fine line between point pressing and exploiting, right?
Yeah,
I mean, get real blurry.
And certainly there's not like millions of dollars on the line, and Guinness World Records happening, So I don't know. We're just there to have fun, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah,
why can't we ask Clint? Ask Clint that it's a friendly tournament. Let's put 720 in there.
Well, I think his thing is that those scores go into arcade.com, so they're quote unquote official record scores. So he didn't. If we were using arcade icons for a scoring system, for example.
So let's revisit that for next year, maybe. Right? So I mean, there was a game that I really wanted to get into, and he vetoed it. So it just happens, There's so kind of the way we broke down the game selection was there was a handful of people that I picked that I know have been to Grinkers a bunch of times before. And we're always trying to promote it, and we're familiar with the games and play. So I wanted to get feedback from a handful of people. So I don't know, 8-10 people, something like that, all pitched in and gave lists of games that they'd like to see in the tournament. And so what I did was I kind of made a spreadsheet where it had all the games that all those people selected, and then any games that had 2 or more votes got kind of put into the pool for first pick, and then we're narrowing down from there. So there's a good chance that everyone that voiced an opinion for a game, they'll have at least one in there. So that's what I wanted to try to do. Everybody that's active there participating get a chance at having a say at some games. So
I want to go on record that I was not the person who voted for Rastan, by the way.
Right.
I hope who did. That's like every single year.
Wait, sorry, you want pole position or not?
No,
I'm not saying anything.
No.
We're gonna make that NAT. You got to drive it naked with your. Sorry.
Your joystick.
It's gonna be the joystick version of.
So if one or less people voted it in, it's not in there. So I don't want to speak for what people's votes were.
So Rastin got 2 votes then.
Yeah, Nick, no pole position and no time pilot for you, buddy.
I just wrote down Paperboy 10 times.
Yeah. And there's, like we said, 3 tournaments. I don't know. Do we talk anymore about this, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think we talk about the tournaments at this point. We can't know what we don't know what games are.
So as we've always, had, there's always got to be a main tournament with the most games in it. And then I think it's always been a big favorite. Everybody likes the bronze.
Collapse.
The Bronze Age tournament is also going to be a tournament. We'll just pick up where he left off.
Challenge, something different, alternative for the third one. So rather than being
third one. Sorry, you dropped off, Chris.
Oh, well, I was saying I wanted to give people an opportunity to vote in an optional third one. I didn't even say what it was yet. So,
Gotcha.
So normally it is the manufacturer challenge, but and I was up for anybody's suggestion. If everybody still wanted manufacturer challenge, that's cool. But I just kind of threw out some options of, like let's say twin stick games only, or driver games only, trackball games only, and then open to suggestions of what other people had for types of groups of games, we'll say. and I think the one we really liked was Hat Trick actually came up with the suggestion, and that's the Love Hate challenge, which the games you loved. Wait, games
some love.
Some people love, but most people hate, or something
yes,
like that.
there we go. So think of games that are total classic, games that you would see like on a 61 or something like that. But you hate how they play, or you hate them. Or something like
games on the 60-1. You mean they might be on the 60-1?
Yeah, they might be. Right.
It might be.
Is this games that you love to play but hate them because you're so bad at them?
No, they're like games that are kind of lame that some people love.
Right, or it's annoying, like either the gameplay or the sounds might be annoying.
Oh, like Xevious?
Or Kickman, or like Kangaroo.
Xevious might fall into that category. Yeah.
People don't like those.
So we're gonna have the most games ever this year, also because the crowd keeps growing. So not by a whole lot more. I think the most we ever had before was 12 in the main and 5 in each of the side tournaments, and so we bumped those to 6 of the side tournaments. So a total of 24 games if you do everything.
Nice.
But some people they don't want to do the main. There's just too many games. So gives them an option to do a tournament with less games. So
we should find out what games Matt Hall sucks at.
Someone actually commented on that. I'm not going to call him out, but he's like, let's make sure and pick games that Matt Hall does not have records on or whatever.
I'm just saying,
yeah,
we like to pass the torch around here. So.
Yeah. Right.
Let's give Kalen another chance.
There you go.
That's why the Nat tournament's so good.
Oh, what's going on? Oh, sorry. I just want the details on the pinball. When is that starting compared to the Nat tournament?
So, Steve, I don't know if you want to comment on that. Yeah. You have a mic open, Steve? Oh.
Me?
Yeah.
Why do you want me to comment on the Nat tournament?
No, the pinball.
Pinball.
The pinball.
Mock was asking what's
the
details on the pinball tournament that's going to happen. This little side tournament.
I have no idea yet.
Okay. Well, from my recollection, then
who's throwing the tournament for that?
So one of the locals there, Dwayne is his name, and he's the one with the daughter that's like a virtuoso at pinball. Ariana, yeah. So it's her dad that's gonna kind of host a little side tournament. He's not
pretty good at pinball too. So so that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's her name is Aviana, and she won. They have like this pinball group, and
it's not going to be the same. My recollection. Go ahead.
Sorry, they play different places around town, but there's like these pinball. You know how pinball people have like a following,
right?
Or like there's like pinball groups, or can be like a close knit group. Anyway, she plays in this group with like these 20 other people, and they're all like 30-something, 20-something guys. They're very serious about their pinball. And in the last, I'm sorry for like sidetracking us, but
no, go for it.
In the last 2, they play like once a month, and out of these like 20 to 30 like very serious pinball guys, she's won 2 months in a row.
Oh my
wow! Yeah,
and she's like a 17-year-old little kid, so
right.
it's awesome. So Dwayne's gonna run the pinball show. I think what he's planning on doing is just having an all weekend long, log your best scores type of deal, and so that way it's more of like a casual, whole event type of plan.
Do those guys need badges and stuff for the thing or the event, or are they part of this? Or are they doing it their own thing? Or I don't know.
I think they're going to do it separate. I think they're going to share the badge numbers but it'll just be separately logged.
But do we have them pre-registered, or are we going to just be making handmade badges for them?
I think it's going to be a sign-up sheet at the front counter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
so
when they sign
those
up,
people might want to do the main tournament stuff too, and then they will have badges as part of the whole
I would
shebang,
imagine.
so.
I would imagine most people will. I think the
Yeah.
crowd. We attract an arcade. You know, Grinkfest is arcade enthusiasts. You know,
Right.
we all to some extent we all like pinball, but I think the primary interest for most everybody is arcades, and so the pinball just gives like an extra, like more depth, right? So you can play in the arcade tournament, you can play in the pinball tournament, and it's just there's more stuff to do.
Yep.
Pinball's lame.
So I think
that's pretty cool how he set up a tournament just so his daughter can win.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, is Tapper in the pinball tournament?
That's right. She can do like 3 million point scores on that or something.
Yeah, she can play it forever.
She can beat the high score or the world record, I should say.
Wow.
So we're trying to get like the local news people to come down and record her doing it. So that would be fun. But yeah, it's really kind of amazing to watch. It's Tapper's. I don't know.
It was really funny because I think that was last year. I saw her. This was maybe Friday night. She was kind of walking around, just kind of looking at every game, and she had a notepad. She's like taking notes, like, you know, this game is this, that kind of thing. I don't know if she was noting like scores she was seeing, or I don't know. I was like, wow, man, she's hardcore. So yeah,
weights or whatever.
She can't drink yet, so.
Right. Yeah.
There goes her scores.
We are all at a disadvantage.
Yeah. Right.
About 7 o'clock on, it's just like I was gonna say.
I hope you 7 in the morning.
So I think we'll, you know, in the next few days, we'll you know, solidify this, and I'll post it on our thread. But I think the rough numbers, time frames, and schedule is the whole deal starts Friday night around 5 p.m. Yep. Depends on when Clint's there and ready. And we're going to kick off doing the Nat thing about the same time, maybe about 6 p.m. for a couple hours. And then it runs till basically closing, or till Clint can't handle it anymore Friday night. And then Saturday, as early as he can show up, you know, 11 or 12 o'clock probably. And then the Arcade Radio guys are doing they're going to do a semi-live podcast there, I think around
1 to 2:30.
1 p.m. 1 to 2:30 is what they're saying.
Yep.
And they're still, it sounded like it was still up in the air what they were going to do. They were talking about maybe doing kind of a silly fun game, one-off game while they're doing their podcast. But I haven't heard any updates on that yet. So, and then the plan is for the group photo, our yearly group photo, about 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Right, got it.
Put that shit in your phone, so we don't have to Photoshop you into another picture.
I have to do another.
Password to Fritz.
Photoshop you in.
Fritz and Griffin.
Griffin, the first one, I let you be fully clothed, but the next one, if you want to do it, you got to be missing 1 or 2 clothing items. So.
No problem.
I'm going to put you on a tranny's body.
And then
I want the GAC version of the group photo where there's like 15 Griffins, like just all dotted throughout. Just to make up for all the times you guys fucked me over.
Dude, one of my favorite posts on Clobs is that after Fritz started complaining about not being, and they just put his face on everyone's body.
Yeah, that was hilarious. So the other tournament, Steve, I think there was talk about possibly doing a Street Fighter thing that Jimbo might be involved in there. So
Steve's on mute, so yeah, I think he's going out front. Yeah, I think he's gonna.
Okay. Yeah, sure, no problem. So I think that the Street Fighter one, I would just assume it'll probably be early Saturday afternoon. I don't know, Saturday evening.
So that one's unscheduled, but I think we're going to post an actual schedule with times on it this year somewhere.
Yes.
So that one's still to be determined, but. And then, I think there's going to be a Street Fighter 2 tournament.
Yeah, and then
my goal is for Jim to kind of orchestrate that. I think he'd be perfect for it. So I think that'll be another sign-up thing, right? So
and he got the bracket.
It'll be a little one-off thing.
Yep.
And I think it's gonna be hyper fighting, right?
Yeah, correct.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Oh,
Nice.
two other things as well. So the Arcade Icons pre-Grinkers tournament ends midnight on Thursday. So anyone who wants to, or is already taking part in that, or wants to take part in that on the Thursday evening, they'll be able to play all the dedicated machines there at Grinkers, and they can always post their scores to that. So that'll be a pre-Grinkers fun fest. And on Saturday, I now know that I have to get Dan Reed shit-faced before 1 p.m. on Saturday afternoon if that's when they're going live. So I'm going to work on that. I'm coming for you, Dan. I'm coming for you, buddy.
Cram some drinks down his throat about 1 p.m.
Yeah.
That show's gonna be just like one solid beep.
Yeah.
Like an hour and a half of beep.
Isn't he from Minnesota? Is that Dan's from Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
They don't swear. They don't swear in Minnesota. They're good, wholesome people.
So I think the last like you said, Andrew, we'll
the house.
roboting again. Damn it! Can you guys hear me? Okay.
You're breaking up.
Breaking up, yeah. Awesome guys. Awesome job organizing this thing. Like that. This sounds like the best tournament or the best event so far. Like just put this shit together.
Huge as well. I mean, we're like 30% bigger just on numbers already, right?
We got about 10 or 15 more people right now than we had right up until when it started last year. So we might have 20 or 30 more people this year.
That's a 30% lift.
Yeah, sure. So I think I think it would be better. I think it would be better if it got like smaller or stayed the same.
Yeah, I think this is like the happy number of people. Last few years has been a lot, but
Steve is just terrified. He's like, "Oh no, we're bringing like 50 more people. Let's
leave it here. No more promotion."
I only have 75 kegs of beer. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, so should we stop the Skyrider and the blimp that's going all around Boise then?
So I think the last discussion we said that again this is preliminary, we'll release the actual times, but I think he was saying that the pinball thing would end probably 8 p.m. ish Saturday, and then all the main tournament stuff ends at 9 p.m. Yep. And then we got to give Clint about a half hour to finalize scores and all that.
Yeah, he needs about a half hour, and then we got to make the certificates or put the stuff together to figure our stuff out too. So yeah.
And during that time, I was thinking, depending on how we plan this out, we haven't even discussed this yet, but we could kind of hold off announcing the winners of like Nat and the pinball stuff, and do that while we're waiting on getting the stuff finalized for all the main stuff.
Yeah, that's great.
And then around 9:30 or so, announce all the main stuff. Main and the two-side ones. Yeah. So.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be way too busy to drink this year, Chris.
So the Nat tournament starts at 5 on Friday, right?
Probably 6. 6
yeah,
6. I'd say.
I think Clint will probably kick off around 5 for the main for the main Grinkers tournaments, and then we'll do a little meet and greet kind of thing and talk Nat up around 6.
Sounds good.
Hey, Gak, I think we should have like a schedule of events, like on a piece of paper, like in their bag or something.
We will.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think like in their bags, and like actually maybe if we could hang something on a wall somewhere or something, put on a TV. I don't know how that works, but I mean something
up
where
on
it's
the wall
like
behind the bar at least or something.
Yeah, no question about the timing for when the main key.
The photograph and the pinball and the Nat. Main and and also like when the awards are going to be called out.
Yeah. Can we get the Grinkfest app that we all download and we get notifications?
Yeah, there you go.
Putting that together for us right now.
Get on that, Joel. Code that up.
Andrew's the web developer. Right after that banner that he did do against.
He's not doing enough.
Fuck, man. I'll make you a banner right now. God damn it.
Can you make an app and a banner?
Yeah, I mean, good.
Well, an interactive banner.
5, but give me 10.
You're not busy. What are you doing?
Yeah, what do you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Jim.
Dogs drinking martinis.
I like that I snuck in here for a good 2 minutes ago. That's my entrance is always 10.
Jim pulled a cheek sneak.
No, only Leo can do that.
don't disrespect the cheap sneak by calling it that. That really just
There's nothing sneaky about Leo either. By the way, that man's the full-on crop duster.
It was only sneaky because I was slipping into the conversation.
No, that one overrides the fact that he still stood in the doorway of our house with everybody else behind him and
that was
dropped
right.
a shit bomb.
I think I was the only lucky one that was in front of him.
I forgot about that.
You guys had to walk through his insides.
I wasn't sleeping there. I wasn't sleeping there. I figured I'd get that out now before I go back to my nice hotel room and shit that place
up. He's preparing people. He's like, this is what you have to look forward to.
Those wings were good, though. Oh, they were so good.
Fire on the mountain, man.
Exactly.
Those are tears of joy.
Hey, at least
tears of joy and blood.
We were in Denver, so they were organic farts. They were probably
pools of blood of joy.
Oh God!
Talk about a ring of fire.
Oh. He pulled a Johnny Cash.
Dropping up lava in the pool.
Melting his toilet.
You can hear him sing that when he's in the bathroom.
I took a dump and just I gotta leave this. I gotta vacate the premises now and just
can I get a new room?
Put a crime scene tape.
Put his asshole fire out in a hotel pool.
The maid came into.
Why is there caution tape right outside the bathroom door?
Did you leave a baby Ruth behind too?
Ruth.
Baby?
Yeah, that was good times.
Should we do the question? Have we done all stuff or anything else?
Yeah, I think so.
Did we announce the dates?
October 13th and 14th, 2017.
Bad dates.
Although everyone else, is everyone
nice Indiana. That's solid.
Is everyone here coming on the 12th, right? Or is anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you could get it on the 12th if you want to be one of the cool kids.
Absolutely, it's so much better. Exactly. Oh, we're gonna play Magic the Gathering and all kinds of cool things. So
I'm playing my 27-sided dice.
I want to use Magic Missile.
I got my Planeswalker.
That's a classic old video,
right?
God damn, thanks, Mox. You just brought me right back.
We actually
are there any girls? Because if there are, I want to do them.
Yeah. That's classic. You guys don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I get the sense that we're making a joke by ourselves here tonight.
Yeah, only one person got it.
I know it.
All right.
You guys can make out and lock your retainers at Grinkfest, all right?
Lock retainers?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's called a mouthpiece.
All right, so I guess we move on to this question of the night.
Yeah. Hey, before you guys move on, I wanted to say that we actually turn off our marketing like 30 days before Grinkfest starts. So we shut off our radio ads, we shut off our print ads, and we turn off the marketing. And the reason we do that is so that we don't get too crowded on that day, right? And so
you did that last year too.
We do, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's we actually have every payroll we put a staff letter with the paychecks, and we've been telling the staff, don't share with guests the fact that Grinkfest exists, right? So we know that you're excited about it because you're going to get a chance to take scores. and you're gonna like get to see these guys that have been here for like 3 or 4 years in a row.
They're not excited about that part.
I'll tell you what, they like the people, they like the taking the scores part, and they like the tips. You guys always tip really well. Everybody that shows up here tips well, so it's a big like successful like weekend for the staff, and so they are definitely looking forward to it. But that excitement cannot translate into them sharing that excitement with guests that come in, because if Grinkfest was like 700 people,
we wouldn't do it.
It would be
Right.
It'd be impossible.
Good. It'd be like caps.
Yeah, it would be bad. So that we do that to make sure that the experience is good for you guys, because we know that you guys are traveling from like great distances to come here, and I appreciate that and respect that, and so we do that to make sure that the experience is a great one for you guys.
Oh, I appreciate that.
We love Steve.
Absolutely.
I owe you a hug.
You're going to be getting a lot of drunk, sweaty hugs on Saturday night. Better wear a full body condom, all right?
Get a virtual hug from me.
There you go.
Hey,
Steve's a good hugger.
Griffin, I didn't get a chance to play Rampart with you last time, so I want to do that this time.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. I suck at everything, so whatever you play me at.
What's your tagline, Griffin? Remember the one I gave you?
He really does suck at everything.
Oh yeah, no, come defend castles, even if English. That's my warlord's moniker.
Hey, no one sits at that bar and drinks better than you, Griffin. All right.
Wyo's pretty good at it.
Wyo is pretty good.
Yeah, me and Wyo.
Yeah, you defend the corner of that bar. That's for sure.
We man the bar for everybody.
Yeah.
No. Don't want those barmaids to get bored. Send them out. Do what we can.
All right, Griffin, I'm sending you a banner right now.
Hey, I told you guys Amber's coming back, didn't I? I told you last time, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, cool.
She was here. We had a staff party, and she came. And actually, no, it wasn't the staff party. I heard through Danny, the manager, that she's like super excited. So it wasn't just like a yes. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Like it's Christmas time. So
wow,
it's really cool that she's excited about it.
She did. Good party. Out last year after her shift was over, she went and got beers and hung out with us and stuff. So
yeah, she's great.
She likes hanging. Yeah. Very cool.
Cool. All right, let's do the question. People,
right, let's ask Steve this question. See if Steve has an answer for it. So, Steve, the question is: have you had a regret spending too much money on a certain cabinet, and you just went, "Oh, that was a big. I regret that purchase."
Probably at the very beginning, like when I first started collecting. I was definitely in like, noob arcade enthusiast territory, and anything that I saw, I was like, I have to have that, and it didn't matter really,
$3,000 Miss Pac-Man.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I think I spent. Let me think. Let me think of the worst purchase I've made.
It's got 60 games in it.
No,
yeah.
I never bought
5,000.
I never bought a 60 in one. Well, I'll give you guys. There's definitely a very clear answer if we include not bad decisions but bad deals. I spent $5,000 on a game to have it totally misrepresented. So it was represented as complete, and it was represented as water damage free, and it was neither of those things. And that was the worst.
5,000. I mean, there's only a few games that fall into that category there. I mean, you're talking Star Wars Cockpit, Major Havoc, Dedicated,
Environmental Citron. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you died.
Oh yeah.
You have to tell us what the game is, Steve.
Spill the beans. Yeah.
Let's get it right. Could just say that.
I can't because the problem is if I tell you the game, you'll know this. You'll know who. You'll know everything about it. Yeah. So I don't want to.
You didn't pay $5,000 for that wacko, did you?
No.
I'm just
No,
we know where that wacko came from.
It's still in pieces. It's still. I have a cabinet and a monitor and a board set and art, and it's all like separated. And because the cabinet.
I hear the gears turning, and everyone's just like.
Yeah, there are not many games that fall into that category.
Well, did the seller
Pit Fighter
do anything? Did he refund any? I mean, did you complain or just say, this isn't what you said it was, or did you guys come to some agreement? Still a bad deal because you probably wouldn't have bought it if you knew.
Just tell us where he lives, man. We'll go and fuck him up.
Fuck you!
Yeah.
Shit on my house, man. You shit on my house.
Well, we've reached the that part of the show.
We got fat guys, we got skinny guys, we got tall guys. We put them all together, we'll form some kind of huge robot. And
sort of super
his house, man.
Who's drunk?
Arcade Hangouters Connect.
Assemble.
That sounds like a really awesome
message for all the kids watching at home.
Stay out of trouble.
Fiery Phoenix.
RoboCop. Oh wow! Battle of the Planet /
Yeah, the Fiery Phoenix.
Yeah. Right.
And Keop.
Keop and Princess and Mark and Jason.
Dude, I met a real life princess cosplayer at Comic-Con, and
which was brilliant. That fucking picture you posted was amazing.
Oh yeah. God. I nearly had my own baby, just in her breast.
You nearly had a Keop.
Oh, yeah, a Keop. What am I chance at having a Keop? Sorry, Steve. Sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, so that's
which is Japanese for you to go in the bathroom and jerk off by yourself.
Wait a second.
Hey.
Enjoy your
synchronized watches.
Which way does the toilet spin in your country? Go look now.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a Simpsons joke.
Yeah. Well, he calls Australia, doesn't he?
Yep.
Watch the toilet flush.
True. Tell me. Dude, I remember like when I got to Australia, I totally took a video, like my phone, my scrappy old like flip phone, like of the toilet flushing because I thought
this is amazing. Can I loop this into a screensaver?
Sorry,
all right, so that's Steve's ambiguous answer.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a cut your losses kind of guy. So I just don't even want to like get into it, right? So. But that was the worst deal. I bought an expensive game and it didn't pan out, and that's how it goes sometimes.
All right, so let's write down in my notes on Thursday night, get Steve really drunk and find out the rest of this fucking story.
And hang out in the back room with them.
We'll charge you $5,000 for a really crappy game you have.
A high-end waterlogged cabinet.
It's the Arkanoid.
No, I was kidding. If you want to know, I'll tell you.
I was kidding.
If you want to know, I would tell you.
Just put it in the chat. Type it in the chat.
No. Let's save this story for Grinkers. This is a live story. Let's hear the rest of it live. So if you want to hear this story live, come to Grinkers, October 3rd.
Oh, nice plug.
2017.
You planned this.
I know.
It's a professional podcaster.
This is like Fight Club. We're not supposed to talk about it because he doesn't want too many people there. Don't talk about Grinkfest.
The first rule about Grinkfest.
There is no drink.
Fest.
Don't talk about it live on YouTube. Okay. Man,
Right,
imagine if all of our listeners came, there would be like an extra 2 people.
I can't comprehend that. Yeah.
Nah, mind blowing.
And I believe one of them actually is, and I don't know if you know.
Oh yeah, Lou Up. Yeah.
Yep.
He's not even here tonight.
Is he from Japan? Is he gonna have an orgasm?
Oh, not that again. Oh yeah, I used to. Nah, I don't use that soundbite.
All right,
anymore.
Steve, pass the question, buddy.
Just pass the question.
Pass the question. Steve is frozen. Look at that.
That's a good freezer.
That's a good freeze. Exactly.
In Batman, I was Dr. Freeze.
That's so much better than when we usually like.
Yeah, or some like.
That was some early shows.
Sound like Gleek where he's upside down.
Oh, showing
Remember
his
that?
bald
That was
microphone.
fucking
Yeah.
epic.
Well, there was
Link
the
passing out
upside down microphone swallowing extravaganza. Then
Yeah, that was like some sort of like.
And then the crack kill that he provided.
Oh, that was epic.
I had nightmares for weeks about that. And then his crack. Oh yeah, going for the Elvira poster.
Provided
Oh god.
memorable moments.
Oh yeah.
It was a public service announcement. Crack kills.
Hey,
Go
Joel,
to drugs, kids.
what movie are you watching in the background there? Is that the new Spider-Man movie?
That's Homecoming up there, yeah.
That's not released yet.
Yeah, it's on streaming.
It's on streaming.
It's on streaming.
Is
Streaming
it?
what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
Straight
in
from
the,
Pirate Bay.
Mark, you're not allowed to talk about it. He's in the film industry. Now he's the
VR
he's
Spider-Man.
like Johnny Hardman stuff.
No way he's talking about
Right.
Sonar VR VPN.
Jimbo, you need a pirate sound effect.
Yeah.
Arr! Yeah,
So we had
can I get
music
can I
playing
get a
earlier,
bar?
and now we had a legal stream. Like we're gonna get kicked off in like a minute or two. Jesus.
I'm surprised we
What's
make it through a
Jesus?
single one of these shows.
Actually, I don't
Cheap as a
even
fart
recognize
fuel.
that.
That's why Leo's thinking about him.
Oh,
All right, so someone has to take the question. Steve bailed.
well, I guess you got it, Monk.
Oh.
Yep, Mark.
You win.
That's what you get for keeping the show on the rails.
Sorry, I'm playing host here. Gak can do host too. We'll tag team it.
All right.
All right, so okay, mine's the obvious one. Mine's the Outrun. I don't even know if I want to say how much. I said once before what I paid for it, and it was way too much money. And
You have to say what you paid for it. Stop with this koi shit.
Holy shit, a can is talking to us.
I know. Talking can.
Dude, the market today, guaranteed it would be worth more than you sold it for nowadays. Come on.
I don't know. 6 bones. 600 bones for that.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
That's pretty bad.
Expensive.
It was one of those impulse buys where like I kept looking forever for it, and of course after I bought it, 3 of them show up for like half the amount and way better condition and all that shit.
I paid like six for my Outrun.
Yeah.
My working Outrun, that one there that's working.
Yeah, mine was working when I bought it.
Hey,
It's a
Yeah, but Griffin, yours is like homies only or something, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's nice. It's really nice and it works.
I think mine was in a laundromat.
Yeah, but his is covered in diamond plate.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's got another 25 grand in diamond plate on it, you know. But I put that on
a
there.
little light.
Gold-plated diamond plate.
Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where I don't want to put any more money into it. So I don't know if I'm just going to throw it on Craigslist and say, hey, if you want to, the color went out, just shows one color, it's probably a fuse. I'll use those kind of terms.
Sacrificing for $800.
I'll throw an LCD in it for another $1,000.
There you
Probably
go.
a fix.
Easy fix, probably a fuse.
Do you know that it's the board? Has Keith already verified that for you?
Yeah, because we put in the TPG, and the monitor all has the right colors and animation, all that stuff. So that tells me it's the board. So
It's probably just a color prom.
we already replaced those. So now we think it's the ROMs. So,
Huh.
yeah.
By the ROMs, Dead Burn.
Yeah, burn the ROMs.
ROMs. Get some
That's the
ROMs
next-
from Steph.
I don't know how to do that. I'm too stupid.
Dude.
I need help with that part. So
I think,
nobody wants to
Robert's-
help. So
Mock, I think Frober is surprised that your biggest regret wasn't your main cabinet.
Oh!
I was gonna
Ouch.
make that.
So much hate.
I mean, you got to have like probably $6 or $8 grand in controls alone on that thing, right?
Actually, I was going to say maybe your email address.
No,
yeah. I paid top dollar for that one.
What, Crazy for Meme?
Yeah, that's the one.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
And it's the number 4. Right?
Number 4.
I've had so much fun with the meme cabinet. You know, I know everybody likes to like shit all over it, but I've had a lot of fun with it. So
in this group, what are you talking about?
Fuck you, God.
Your new emails.
Fuck you.
Like sexyboy69@aol.com. I'm glad you got rid of that because that was
hotguy69@yahoo.
Hotmail.com.
I think I may get a new email address. It's crazyforcapkits@gmail.com.
CapKit Master.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We totally should have made Chris like fucking Kappa monitor when he was here in Denver.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure I've got a monitor.
And recorded it too.
Yeah. There's a bunch on the shelf.
5 drunk guys coaching him.
Yeah, so just sitting around laughing at him.
Yeah. Andrew, I don't know if you saw. I saw it today on this evening on Facebook. Exity. He took a picture of himself with the soldering iron with his hand all choked up on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's me. Yeah.
When you do it as well, you've got to do it with one of the little rubber ball sucky desolders as well. You're not allowed like an FR300 or something.
Right.
To rite of passage, you know, you can't.
It's called cheapo solder sucker and a $5 soldering iron.
That's it. Yeah.
Actually doing this with a soldering iron.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, definitely hold it just like that.
Yeah.
What was he signing his name on the board?
I did that once when I very first got it.
For every cap kit, he signs his name on the board. Excellent.
Right here. Just doing this in, burn my name right in here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Use these in wood class. Made a real nice bird feeder out of this.
So my desoldering I've done, I use the wick. That little band you put on it.
Oh, sometimes you got to use the wick.
Nice.
The wick can save your ass sometimes.
I've never done the solder sucker thing. The only times I've tried is with the solder wick.
I've never been able to use that wick. It doesn't matter how many times I try.
I just like burn right through the PCB, man.
What'd you say, Buffett?
The wick is junk. I hate that crap.
It is.
Right.
No, it is junk. But there's times
Yeah.
when like you're getting solder off of stuff that the wick actually works great for just like pulling stuff off.
Gary's used it a few times. I've just been impressed because I've never used it. I'm always impressed with people that are really, because I'm sure a lot of you guys, myself included, I started out with a solder sucker, but that thing is like now going back to it. Yeah. Well, no, like the straight up, the one with the spring. The cheap ones.
Oh, yeah.
Now going back to that, it's like, holy fuck, I'm impressed with anyone that can effectively use that, because it's like, it's actually kind of scary because you get one with like a really strong spring. It's like, and the whole thing like moves, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get it.
Solder comes shooting out the back of it.
And then you eject it, and it's like this big tube comes out, and you're like, yeah, look how much solder that picked up, you know? But so much more crude. I'm just like, I was doing some desoldering over at Carrie's a few weeks ago. I can't remember what we were working on. And anyways, her desoldering station or whatever isn't working, so I had to use the solder sucker. I'm like, or the pullet or whatever you call it, and I'm like, fuck, this sucks.
Those things are terrible.
Oh
man,
man,
once you've gone to a good desoldering gun, you can't go back from there.
Frizzy says it's called a solder braid. That we're a bunch of geniuses.
I'm not a I've used her desoldering station or desoldering gun, and I must have to get used to it because it seems so big and clunky. I'm used to using the Radio Shack desoldering iron, and that's so much smaller. Like I'm so much more. I guess it's what you're used to.
So there you go. The turkey baster.
Back of the board anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like there are any components in the way.
What's
I mean, with a good desoldering gun, I mean, it's got enough suction on it that you can always work from the back of the board anyway. So
yeah,
it's going to pull everything clean through.
Well, when I did my
you're holding this thing. Here's the board. You're holding this gun, and it sticks way up here. I'd much rather just come in real close with like the iron, and
Yeah.
When we didn't have a solder sucker gun, so we were using just the pin and the So there was times to get certain like diodes, whatever, not diodes, but caps out that we used the wick, and it actually worked pretty good. And that was the first time Till ever saw a wick, and because Keith gave me or told me to buy one.
You
so
just whipped it out.
Yeah, he goes, "That's pretty cool."
Nice
yeah, because he doesn't have a gun either. I don't think so. So it does work if you use it right.
With your wick?
What's that?
Did you slap him about the face with your wick? Because I heard Till likes that.
He loves that. That was after we were done.
Is he going to Grinkfest?
Yeah. So Fritz keeps saying braid, not wick. Yeah, whatever.
I believe Bill is going to Grinkfest.
I'll say what I want.
So then when
it sucks up like a wick.
Have your friend wick your hair, into nice long wicks. Yeah.
I use my Pippi Longstocking on the solder.
It's after 9 p.m. Pacific time, so yeah. Fuck
We
accuracy.
say whatever we want now.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to pass the question along to Gak.
Suck cockbelly. What?
Regret purchasing a game. Fortunately, I've been pretty lucky. Knock on wood that I don't think I've ever lost money selling a game that I got when it was time to get rid of it. I either broke even or made money. So I don't have regrets in that aspect. I have regrets in what the hell was I thinking when I got that machine. The one that comes to mind is Beast Busters. It's this giant.
Oh, that's the reason.
Game.
Massive.
It is huge. Yeah, I got it for like $20 on eBay.
Oh, geez.
And yeah, because no one wanted to bid on the freaking thing. It was like pickup only. And I get it, and I'm like, God, what was I thinking, man? It's just huge.
Is that what it was? It's too big?
Yeah, I want to say it's a 33-inch monitor in it, maybe, and it's like down below, so it does a reflector thing. And then it's got the 3 guns, a massive control panel. Yeah, it's just huge. Maybe I didn't do this once, but I did it twice. I bought a Batman Data East pinball machine, and that's just a horrible pinball machine. I'm sorry.
And that's why Gak doesn't own pinball machines anymore.
There's a couple Batman ones. Which one was it? The Vicky Vale one?
The Data East one. So that
would be the '89 movie one, right?
Yeah.
The old movie, the first Batman, right?
Michael Keaton movie.
The Michael Keaton one, yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Adam West one.
And it has like the same sound effects. Like I had the Star Wars Data East and the Star Trek 25th anniversary Data East. Like they had all the same kind of tunes kind of going with the game. I remember. But I paid. This was years ago, so nowadays that would be super cheap. But $700 for the Batman pinball machine, and I bought 2 different ones over the course of like 6 months or a year for the same price, and regretted it both times. Like, what am I doing? Get rid of this thing.
Yeah, that pin's probably about $1,500 to $2,000 max.
Yeah.
It's not well regarded.
So
it's hard to buy any PMD pin below $2,000 for the garbage.
Yeah.
Maybe my real regret is just buying all the little shit. I just have like boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff, man.
You mean like arcade parts?
Yeah. Circuit boards, joysticks.
Orange Whip needs to buy you a beer at Grinkers. You guys can talk.
Man, I don't know. I recently got a storage unit, right? So last weekend, I have all these control panels that I think I filled 3 big storage bins with control panels, and then I realized I have like 3 more control panels in my office. I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why do I need all these control panels? But yeah, I get them cheap. So
have you got a Paperboy one?
I have handlebars, just not the control panel.
Oh well, yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Yep, same boat. Yeah.
I have one actually lined up. I just got to be patient.
Yeah. Your wood one's pretty sweet looking.
Paper bloke.
So, paper bloke. There you go. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna pass it on to I'm gonna call out Jimbo. Hopefully he had some good ones.
I've got a few where it's like, damn, I put so much money into completing this restoration that was it really worth it? But nowadays with prices, I don't really have to worry about that. Like my Red 10 and Marble Madness, I was like, fuck, I put a lot of money into restoring these, but I think it was worth it. But the one that I've mentioned, there's another one where it's like it's been the same answer like 4 times with different questions. It's my fucking Frogger. I paid $200 for it, which doesn't sound bad, but I've told you guys this story, and for our like 2 viewers, basically I ended up I bought 2 games from an operator. He actually, it was one of those rare times he had them on eBay, and it was local, so I could pick them up. One was my Centipede Cabaret, great deal, $200, and then this Frogger, $200. And I saw that the cabinet had it looked like it said Frogger. You know, the gameplay was Frogger. I'm like, great. The only thing that's different is the cabinet's painted black. Big whoop. I'm not a big wood grain guy. So pick it up. I bring it home, and I was like unwrapping a sugar-coated turd. Everything about the game ultimately had to be replaced except for the cabinet. I shit you not. It had a Wells Gardner 4500, which I've never seen before in my life. That's the only time ever. And
terrible
shitty. It's absolutely shitty. Buffett knows. Nothing. None of the pots and stuff worked. It's a Matsu shit is what it is. Like nothing. The pots didn't work and stuff. I go back and the chassis is broken up in like 3 parts. It's like if you took a vector monitor and you mounted like a PCB on the side of the cabinet. There's one for the chassis. It's like this big octopus of boards. And it's put this way. You guys have seen 4600s with the daughter cards. This is like if you took those daughter cards and mounted them in other spots of the cabinet. It's a fucking piece of shit. Excuse my, well, no, don't even excuse my language. It's that time. So the monitor didn't work. Ultimately, I had to junk it because I was like, nothing worked. The pots were crumbling in my hand. I tried talking to a few people, and they're like, get rid of that thing. So ultimately, I picked up a Geo 7 for not a bad price from a local guy, but I had to get another monitor, so that added the cost. Then I realized that the PCB is not a legit Frogger board. It's a bootleg. It's a board called Frog, which I donated as a prize to Grinkers. So I had to get a legit board. And because of that, I don't think the wiring harness the edge connector wired matched up, so I had to do that. And then I went the route of green, so I had to do paint and all that stuff. It was a big ass project, and I probably I don't even know if I could estimate, like maybe I probably put another $250 into it. So I mean, everything said and done money wise, yeah, okay, I probably spent under $500, but all this and then all the artwork. So yeah, I probably did spend $500, probably more than that, like $550. Everything, but the project aspect of it, being that like it's like, wow, I got basically a bootleg pseudo Frogger for $200 and all this extra work when I thought I would just have a game that I would just be slapping, painting and slapping some art on. So it was more of like the concept of the thing. It's like, fucking A, I didn't want a project. And that's kind of my theme with a lot of games. My biggest downfall is that I always underestimate the project that's ahead. That's why it's like, I wouldn't say I admire you guys that are like, I'm just gonna spend $800 on a game that's I can just throw in my lineup and be done with it. Because for me, I'm always looking for that deal, and I always think I'm getting something that's not going to be a huge Super Hang-On's a prime example of that. I thought that it would just be a quick little, I'm just going to touch this up and be done with it. And that still ended up being a 5-6 week project.
But still, I mean, just to play devil's advocate to that as well, and just someone who's gone through that entire curve of exactly what you just described, you have to like get to that point where you're okay with just letting it go a little bit, and that, of course, becomes a personal. Becomes
like dialing back the OCD a little bit.
I'm just giving you a little punch in the arm over that, but I mean, I love you stuff. You go to an extent that I actually used to go to, but don't go to anymore. But I still really appreciate seeing someone else do that with their money.
Well, that's the thing, because that
it's an incredible piece at the end, but there's a price that you pay, literally in dollars and in time.
It's amazing, Joel. It's amazing how many times. It's amazing how many times that I look at my game and I'm like, okay, this was a project and I restored it and I'm happy with it, but did I spend any less money than if I had just swallowed that, just bought a complete, like, nice, presentable game up front and just spent the extra money? Like, was it worth that money wise? And maybe not, but you do have, like, there is the gratification. But
and
still,
also,
it's like,
though, peace of mind, because you've gone through every inch of that game, top to bottom, which you're never going to get that buying it, off the shelf and so on. And there's some games that you just can't. You're never going to find them in that condition, like a Cheyenne in the condition that it is now that you've finished. You're not going to. They don't exist.
Jim, how much you want for your Super Hang-On? How much you want for that Super Hang-On? I'll buy it.
Let me enjoy it for a little while. Damn it.
Dave's drunk. Don't pay attention to him.
I'm gonna put some Bud Light stickers on it.
There you go. Don't pay attention. Guy in the corner.
So there is that toss up, but I'll say this. After being at like Carrie's and Andrew's play, like you guys that have like 20-ish, 20 plus games in the same space, or like 15, even 15 plus games in the same space, and you're keeping up with those, I can totally like see the perspective changing, because like I'm spending, I think, at minimum a month to 2 months on these projects. If you've got that many games going on and stuff and you're picking up stuff, I can see where it's, and I work in a linear fashion. I need to finish a project before I move on to another one. I have trouble doing like 2+ projects simultaneously. Like, I'm going to touch this and then I'm going to touch that, and whoa, that's dirty. But
I like where the story's going.
I love that story.
I thought I'd try to steer it, but I have trouble with that. Like, I like to work very linear. Okay, project A needs to finish before I go to project B. Now you have got all these games in the same spot. I can see where that's tough to do, because you're trying to upkeep them. But anyways,
but saying that, the thing is, like, you're not going to have to go back to any of those machines anytime soon now.
Well, only if I keep them on during the show. They have a tendency to take a shit on the show. I told, when I lived at my other place, all I had was in the background was my Red Tent and Marvel Madness, and both of those games ended up taking a shit at different times during the show when I had them on.
Ah, well.
So there's that. But yes, for the most part, no, you're right.
I like your stuff. I think it looks great. I appreciate the fact that you do spend so much time on them, because at the end of the day, you're going to have kick-ass pieces, and you definitely, I mean, I'm not kissing your ass here, because,
I like it. Keep going.
I like your girlfriend more than you.
Go on.
This new girl in your life, I like the changes she's making in your personality.
But seriously though, like, every game that you buy is very much a personal game to you. And I've noticed this about you. It's like, these are players' games for you. These are games that you spend a lot of time playing. They're not just pieces that you have for show. So I could put myself in that category more than that. I have 20 pieces in this room, and I hardly play them at all. Whereas every piece that you have behind you there, you've bought because you play very, very regularly. So
Yeah, except for Miss Pac-Man.
it's good stuff. Yeah, but that's for the chicks when they come over. Yeah.
Yeah, except for
Carrie?
Carrie, she doesn't play.
No.
I'll rag on him a little bit since you buttered him up a little too much. You know, but then sometimes you go to the other extent, like, what the fuck are you thinking with the CompuVan shit? You spent
I hope Gleek's not listening. Yeah.
I know, that was so cool.
Actually, it was funny. It was funny because actually, Dak is just today. I've got this big civil trial going on this week that I'm on this working on, and one of the attorneys has made a comment. He's like, "You got to check out his personality analyzer." They don't obviously come to my cubicle real regularly because they're on the other side of the office. 130 people, and I'm like, "Oh, I sold 4 of the 5 or whatever. I just have the stress tester now." And I'm like, "Oh, I like that." And I'm like, well, "You're one of them." Yeah, you're one of a few, but
probably took some of his
I mean,
orders.
that was yeah, that's a good point though, Gak, because that was one of the things where it's like I kept getting deals thrown at me. Well, I found a few more, and they're different ones. Right. And I'm like, shit, should I? All right, I'll keep because if they work, I'll keep doing this because they're handing them to me for next to nothing, and that's something completely different. But yeah, I did. That was foreign territory, and that was taken up.
And it can be a slippery slope, because you're like, ooh, I want to get all of them now,
Oh yeah, well that's Gleek. He's got it. Yeah. He's
in our chat.
Yeah, he's in. There he is.
And he's always here. He's just not typing. Just lurking.
The only thing about that Gak is that none of that stuff's documented. Like there was no one's restored. Yeah. Like what am I? It is. It's like a foreign territory. I wasn't familiar with it. That's why I was like, oh shit. Well, here's some that I'm better off just keeping the parts and taking this. Does this work? I don't know. Adam still has 3 of those love testers. I don't think I'll ever get to be fair, but anyways, I've spoken enough about all this stuff, but that's a good point. I will pass it off to Andrew.
Can I just say the copy? Okay. Never mind. I was going to say before, the one really nice thing though about working on the CompuVan stuff is that at the time you were really limited in space in that apartment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the perfect project.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys remember when I was painting those in the background? I had all that plastic laid down.
Yeah,
like that was
the whole American Psycho.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
between you and Pac-Man Dan.
Hey, the difference is I clean up my mess afterwards.
Yeah.
And not as many cookies in your place.
Yeah,
that's true. Although I have about a 4-pound bag of peanut butter M&Ms from this last week. And anyways, I'm going to pass it to Andrew. Yeah.
So besides Defender?
No, you kept that for far too long for it to be a regret.
Let's not talk about Karate Champ.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Hey, I'm getting a Karate Champ from Cousin Brian. Can't wait.
I would like to. That would be a tournament to host, the Karate Champ tournament.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
Do they have one? Do they have one at Grinkers? I don't think they do.
Yeah, they do. They do. No, they do because Brian didn't know how to play it. And he's like, hey, I'm like, dude, what are you even doing? And then he buys one. And you had no idea even how to play Karate Champ.
So
dude, there's a 4-player Nat game right there.
No, yeah, so we have a tournament called a Nat Sport.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a great Nat game.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, track and field 2-player right there, like 1 button each.
Oh, no. Nobody would qualify for anything.
Right.
Take this monitor chassis.
Oh, I got a shout out for Crafty for fixing my monitor with such a simple fix.
Oh, the ground.
Oh, yeah, the ground.
Yeah. It was magic. I'm like, holy fuck, this is the best day of my life. Well, maybe not that extreme, but it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to suggest, my method, which is, I don't know how to fix monitors, so I'll just try to troubleshoot and narrow it down. Like, well, let me plug in this monitor. Well, the issue is different. All right, maybe it's something else. So. Yeah,
I was gonna plug it into the Robotron cabinet with that Geo7 because Buffett's cable for the TPG that I buy is like this long. I'm like, oh, wait a second, this will work. I can just I could totally do like some surgery and just plug one cabinet into the plug the monitor in, and then Crafty chimed in, and I'm like, oh, please be. And I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'll report back in a few weeks when I get grounded to the chassis or something.
Yeah. You do be like working on a coin door. Be like, fuck.
Yeah, I thought the vibration motor added to the experience, but you get 120 volts or whatever going. Woohoo! Yeah.
Turbo.
Yeah. So Andrew, you overpaid for your Defender?
No, I paid nothing for that thing.
Which is still overpaid.
It's at Cousin Brian's house.
Yeah, I got that thing for free.
That's awesome.
That's my biggest regret.
You know what?
Grover says, "Grab your nets."
I love Defender just for the noises it makes.
Oh, I love the. Wait, but you got that thing for free and you sold it to Cousin Brian. So how can that be a regret? Because you made money on it. It's all good.
No way puts Andrew in the corner. No.
I had to drive like 30 minutes to get it.
Yeah.
Plus tax.
Fuck you.
Like both ways. Like 15 minutes out and 15 minutes back.
Well said, Carrie.
Yeah.
Carrie, I mean all your beef sticks, by the way. Thanks for leaving us here.
Yeah.
Always with the beef sticks.
Those things are magic.
Dude, that thing had a green button on it.
Yeah,
which is totally original.
Yeah.
Cousin Brian's getting a divorce, so if he starts putting his games on the chopping block, like Defender is one of the ones I want. Like, I do want.
Wait, damn! Even his cousin wants to leech all the games out of him. Yeah.
Looks like I'm gonna get
once we hear the D word, we just flock in.
Were you facetious or is that legit?
The D word.
Yeah. I'll give him $500 for the Austin Powers pinball.
I know.
Oh.
You know what's funny?
If that's true, I'm sorry. Bro,
yeah.
No, it is true. It is true. But he was like, he goes.
More people get divorced on this show. No.
That's why I got to get him. I was
like the anti-eHarmony. No.
We seriously are at like 3, aren't we?
4.
No, I'm like, dude,
it's not a good track record.
I'm like, Griffin's doing well, dude. Get on the hangout. It's all right.
Cause or a symptom?
Just got to get them apps, brother. Just get them apps. And start working on that thumb.
Yeah, I love how Dave just
work that thumb.
Yeah.
Work it.
Yeah, Dave just casually threw it out there.
Yeah,
subtly dropped the bomb in there.
To go to the conversation about how he's selling arcade games. Oh yeah, Cousin Mario got divorced, so he has to sell his arcade games. It's like whoa.
I think on Slack we need to separate the chat for people that have been through one.
He's not.
It's like a little support group.
It's just he is a karate champ that it's in the back room. He's not even playing, but. I'm thinking, but he asked me, he goes, she wants like a value. What do you think the value of these games are? I gave him realistic value, just for like the. It's not that he's selling, but
$100 each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrew, it was 0 for Defender, so that's what.
That's right. Defender was basically free. That's 0.
We need a support group on our Slack, another channel.
Yeah.
The D channel.
Wait, his wife didn't cheat on him with the tranny, did he?
No. Right. I know. I was about to say this could be its own thread on Clav, like just a divorce, arcades and divorce thread amongst various general arcade discussions.
Yeah, the name of that channel or that thread was like Another Dream Gone or something.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was like actually one of my first friends on Clav because he lived.
He was nice to everything.
Illinois,
I remember that.
Where I used to live, so he lived like where I was born.
I always remember him chiming in on help threads and stuff. Cadillac Man, right?
Cadillac Man, yeah.
He's been on there, Claw, for a long time. I think he's been on there almost as long as I have. I feel like I recognize his handle from a long time ago.
Yeah, we totally touch base. Like even before I knew like Greg, Arcade Impossible Greg was from Rockford.
Oh.
But that dude's from Rockford basically too. So yeah, we were like, he was like my first friend on Claw. So yeah, when he posted that thing about the divorce and his that fucking sucks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm poking fun about the tranny thing, but that's just still just a heartbreaker.
Yeah, and when he posted that, you could tell that he went from you go in stages with these things. At least I did, and he went from like depressed and sad to then he was pissed.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yes.
And on top of it,
yeah, exactly. That would be our Kubler-Ross's stages of grieving. Then we move on. Yeah.
Which stage of grieving is get laid as much as possible? Never see that one.
Bargaining.
Yeah, done, Leo. Although with the whole thing, you do actually not just move on; you do go back and forth between different stages. So this is going through a grief relation, you guys, sort of grieving.
And that's what alcohol is for.
Alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Yeah.
So to quote Homer Simpson.
So speaking about grief, to Defender, is actually not my answer.
All right, let's hear it.
Oh, so you just tickled my ass with a feather. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just trying to feed the conversation here. I'm trying to be a good.
Let me guess.
You're trying to give me shit.
This is just
no,
what is this?
Fucking love that game. No matter how upside down the flippers are.
Yeah. You got the tranny flippers.
They swing both ways.
Oh boy. No, actually, it was the cabinet that I picked up for Grinkers last year.
Oh, the Arkanoid.
The Arkanoid Revenge of Doe cabinet that I bought.
The Farkanoid.
The Farkanoid.
Yeah.
From a warehouse raid.
Yep.
With the entire intention of trying to basically give it to Steve from Grinkers so that he could put that on the floor so that Jimbo could go there and get a world record on it. That was like my whole reason for buying it. And it didn't have a fucking board in it.
Way to lay the guilt on me.
Yeah.
I know. It's true. I was trying to do a nice thing.
Speaking of laying the guilt on me, how's that Mega Touch?
That's at least as fucked as the Arkanoid.
Is this a multi-part question?
Yeah.
But last that you updated, you could get it to boot and everything. You just had the jumper, the power supply.
No, so the power supply and the motherboard are now working 100%. The monitor, which I replaced. And bought a second.
Have you tried removing the grounding strap?
Dude, thank you for your input of all people, Jack.
Fuck you!
Have you replaced the grounding strap fuse? Because
I hear that'll fix your problem.
Yeah.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey guys, I gotta head to bed. I gotta actually use my brain tomorrow.
All right.
Have a good night.
All
Talk to y'all.
right. Good night, Leo.
Later, bitches.
Don't fart in the bed.
Mr. Farty.
That's its new exit sound.
Like drops the fart and walks away.
As he's leaving, as he's like moving off to the side.
Oh!
Hit the bed.
The lead.
I gotta time it right. You gotta like present him so that you just hear the sound and as he sleeps.
And that was what the cheek sneak thing was all about. It was like that wooden bench that he was sitting on, and he was like totally like aimed that shit towards Griffin.
Yeah,
he was sitting right next to him. He like leaned over and aimed it towards him. And he was like,
That's
the wood.
That's the thing.
Jimbo, that reminds me of when Johnny came on one night and you had the sound effect or
That
whatever.
all queued up because I knew that John was going into this little he was going into this thing about the DVD set and he was all excited about it. Oh wait, here it is.
And then when I realized it was like a box set of my videos, I was like,
that was quite possibly my best timed sound ever.
So good.
And he paused. He paused too because he couldn't think of like a word. I'm like, yes. And he was like, "What?
Tiger Claw? What the hell was that?"
Right.
Yeah. That might be in my. That's in my top 10 at least.
Yeah.
For like time effects. I need another drink. But that Mega Touch, that makes me sad that's not.
So the monitor is
time to
now
work
an
on
issue
it,
with
though?
that thing. Not really.
Okay.
I've been actually working on the that's been like my afternoons and weekends. It's like,
where do you put the quarter on that thing?
I know it's in the bottom.
No, through the nostril.
No, no, I said in the bottom.
Oh,
In the bottom.
Of course.
Jesus
What was I thinking?
So
Isn't what she said.
Andrew, your biggest regret was the Arkanoid Frogger, right?
That warehouse, like, I mean, it was a cheap buy, but like I was really looking forward to making that happen. That was like,
Kaya, come on.
I ran across the perfect cab to help Grinkers and help Jimbo at the same time, and like I got it for a warehouse price. The cab was in good shape. You know, it had a masking tape sticker on the front that said "working."
Oh, legit.
Yeah,
from a warehouse, so of course it works.
Yeah,
Well, you're gonna have a board in it.
Well, yeah, it works. Works, but I'm sure I've told the story, but like it works, and I think the date on it was like 2002 or something like that. And I got that, I don't know, like last year or the year before, something like that. So it was a bad choice. I didn't open up the cabinet while I was there. I didn't test anything because it's a warehouse. You can't test shit. So it's just more like, all right, so what are you gonna throw down for, you know, the cabs you're buying? And anyway, I probably broke even still on it because I did manage to sell it and sell the parts. Actually, and I gave Jimbo the bezel.
Bezel, yeah.
Yeah, he got the bezel, which was like a perfectly uncut bezel, which I don't even know if that's the one that's on his game right now, but it might be.
Not a Jewish bezel.
Bezeltoff? I don't know.
No, it was uncut. Never
The bezel was unclipped.
So not Jewish, it was a Protestant bezel.
Yeah, Protestant bezel.
So, yeah, I don't know. Jimbo's not here to finish the story, so the bezel was good. The control panel, I think I may have sold that as well separately.
Wait, bezels don't get cut, do they?
Get cut. If they don't, no, bezels totally get cut. I've got a willow bezel I got with a kit that was totally cut because it
only plastic one though, right?
No, it was paper. The willow one. This one was a paper.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever, you know, it's a kit. So you just make it fit the game, whatever you've got.
Yeah.
You know, cabinet wise. So this is going into a Sega cabinet, so it was apparently a good fit for the kit.
All of my stuff is only screen printed on glass. Anyway, so everything, because I'm legit. Everybody left the room. Like everyone's on mute or left. Why is Dave on mute?
I'm here.
I'm here. Oh, look at it. His name's Dave too. You forget that Buffett's got a first name.
All right. No, Buffett's first name is Mike, though.
Yeah, but on the weekends he's Dave.
Right. I thought he was Dave.
All right. Well, let's keep this lovely conversation. Mike, why don't you tell us about your Jimbo? Wait, real quick, Jimbo. Do you have the bezel that I sent you? Is that the one that you got in your game, or what happened to the bezel that I gave you from that game that I bought from the warehouse?
For Arkanoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there we go. So that's the happy ending. That's the cover shot.
The validation.
Yeah. Nice.
The warehouse raid game. It had a nice bezel that was uncut and Jim's got it in his game right now. That's a great story.
And so, those are not reproed, so there you go.
All original.
Not yet. Yeah.
So there you go. So Buffett,
Take two. Here we go. Fire.
Well, I don't regret owning them. I just regret not knowing what I should have paid for them.
K4500s?
No, I don't own any of those, actually. Don't even own a yoke. But no, it was my Pac-Man cocktail and my Galaga 3 conversion that I originally bought. I paid about $1,500 for the cocktail and like $800 for the conversion for Galaga 3.
Ouch.
Good Lord.
I know.
Money bags, deep pocket.
Yeah. So
what year are we talking when you did that?
Somewhere between 2099 and 2001.
So that was a lot of money then, definitely for those games. But nowadays, I don't think that's too far off. Sadly, cocktails, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man cocktails, Galagas. Those are the rare cocktails that seem. I mean, they're not rare cocktails, but those are cocktails.
The most common cocktails.
Most cocktails aren't worth that much.
But they're the rare ones that get a lot
rare
of money.
instance,
that people want to have in their home. Yes,
people ask that all the time. When that's the second question. If people ask, "Do you have Miss Pac-Man?" and I'll say yes. Oh, do you have the glass one that you sit down? That's the second question. People actually asked if I have they like the cocktail version of that game a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I like the games, so I'm happy to have them.
Well, I hate them. Oh,
but yeah, just not knowing at the time. This was before I got on K-Love and stuff. I didn't know about it. So
I'm
I was
still
just
not on K-Love. I'm on Clav though.
Yeah, I would just go with a local operator or local vendor, and just not knowing. So, but that's okay. I still enjoy them. That's where I found out, where I like Galaga 3 the most is because of that. So, and then I just went and just kept my eye out for a dedicated cab, and I finally got one. So now I've got a conversion and a dedicated cab. So, I can leave my dedicated at home and take my conversion with me to conventions and stuff. For people to play.
Well, Buffett, here's a we've talked about this before, but here's a good theory. If you still have the game, you're still enjoying it. Is it really that much of a? Are you really taking a loss? Because it's not like you sold it and lost money on it. You still have it. You're still enjoying it.
Just in order for me to bring them home, though, I had to make payments on them for like 2 years. Oh. So I didn't even own them for like the first 2 years that I started paying on them.
Back then, your name was Arcade Debt.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, like I say, I don't regret owning them. Just regret knowing what I know now, that I could have potentially passed on them and got everything a lot cheaper. Just to put together my own game. But all in all, and there's probably a handful of others that I regret picking up, but I can't remember what they are. I got so darn many of them.
That brings me back to when I first got into this hobby. Not to steal anything away, but you're talking about building stuff, and that used to be my mentality. That's how my Final Fight was. And then I decided the third game at the time I was going to build Miss Pac-Man cocktail. So I started out not buying a cabinet. The first thing I bought was actually a Midway coin door.
There you go.
And I had a PCB and stuff. And then that didn't actually end up happening. I got to about that point, and I'm like, shit, this is going to cost me more money. And then an upright came for sale. So that's why, honestly, I have an extra coin door to this day.
Right. Yeah, see.
What the hell is happening? That's right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that's why I enjoy it now. I enjoy finding the broken games and the ones that are, cabinets that are half empty and putting them back together. Almost always put them together.
All right, who's going to mute the dog fight?
It's like the where's that at? London right now in Carrick's house.
Oh, I thought I was on the muted.
Oh, nobody hear everything.
Are you kidding me? Oh, that's funny because I turned off my microphone, or so I thought. Oh yeah, no, I have
Kaya, stop it!
Totally fucking wrestling.
We need the doorbell sound, Jimbo.
If they could hear.
Don't provoke them.
I know. Jesus.
That's funny. Well, I guess maybe then this muty thing doesn't work on my microphone. It's no, but oh yeah, no, they're totally all 3 dogs are just going fucking.
I need the Mortal Kombat techno sound.
And
finish him.
Flawless.
Oh, you know what? I bet that I don't have it on my. Interesting.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder-
You probably don't have the microphone set to your headset.
Right, that's probably what it is. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to do that.
Beast from the netherworld.
That's all I can hear right now.
All
right.
Or Carrie's like, sorry guys, I didn't get dinner tonight. My stomach's growling a little bit. I'm like, good lord,
you know, eat some food.
Yeah.
Can't believe Nagi's on our chat.
Yeah.
Yes. Forever.
Scruffy looking.
Is he from Germany?
Scruffy Nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably a year ago or something, huh? It's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
What's up, Nagi?
You coming to Drinkers?
Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Coming to Stinkfest? Leo's hosting.
Grinkfest 2017.
Sorry. Jim. Oh, I'll be next Denver, I guess. No.
Who's going to Stinkers this year? I hear Dave from Buffalo.
So easily.
Everyone who
it's
needs
terrible.
to use the restroom.
I'm sharing a room.
Bathroom
with Leo.
humor will never not make me laugh.
Now serving hot wings.
Yeah.
Hot ass.
So, well,
Nice one.
so who else hadn't gone? I think I don't remember Carrie going.
I have not gone.
Ooh, I want to hear this one.
You are.
So Dave, no.
That's easy. Defender.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I did overpay for Defender, and I regret that. But I can't say that I regret. And I've told
But
the
that
story
wasn't
about
entirely your fault.
it. It was not entirely my fault. No, it was not.
What'd you pay for Defender? What'd you pay for it? Can you share it or no?
I'll share it. Because I admitted that I overpaid for it. $550.
That's what Cousin Brian pays.
That's up there.
I did not charge him $550 for that fucking.
No. You charged $400 with and then shipping. No, it was good.
Yeah.
Right, and actually, I did not get that game for free. By the way, that I was joking about that.
You paid $200.
Well,
I think.
I paid $200 for that.
Yeah, because I remember.
But I paid $200, but I also
Rick
did work on
Rayman.
it too. Yeah.
Rayman. No, I like it.
No, I just want to
get
say,
it.
I gave you guys like what I had into both those games.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thank you.
sorry.
So there's the 2 greatest days of Defender ownership. That's the first day you get it, and the day you let it go. Right?
Is that like talking about like a beer gut too?
Right.
Or boat or watercraft.
Yeah. Well, I do like to talk about how and I've told the story since we're coming up on Grinkfest again this year. That woohoo! That it was early in my days of being a Clov member, and I had seen it also on Craigslist, and then let the seller know that I was a Clov member, and then he didn't give me the Clov price. He gave me the Craigslist price and told me he'd buy me a beer at Grinkers, but the Clov price was like $50 less. So far he has bought me 1 beer, so he owes me still, I believe, another 49 beers. So at least we can get even on all of that. But you know, I'm sure that Drewster will be back again this year.
I did not post in the chat. I thought maybe you wanted to. No, okay, well, that's good to know.
So you said 550 is too much. What should you pay? 500 would be the Clov price. What should you pay for a Defender?
$545.
I know.
Bob Barker.
I would say
What
now, a couple years later, I would say that probably it's a $450 to $500 game.
Yeah.
I would think.
And
So you did go
four 5,500 working.
I did. Yeah, I didn't get robbed.
They're
I did
so
not get
common
robbed with
that-
it, but
yeah,
it
it's
was
a very-
yeah. And
very
I drove for this thing. Yeah, Andrew drove 15 minutes. I drove like 3+ hours for mine. Stop flapping.
But do you play
And then
it?
we-
The monitor's nice.
Do you play it?
Yeah, it's although you well no, but see that's just it. That's the worst fucking part about the whole thing. Not the worst fucking part. The worst fucking part is the fact that there was the $50 like, oh look, I found it on Clav, and I think I'd even seen it on Clav, but not put two and two together because I was so brand new to everything. But in Clav, the seller actually
Sorry, what was that?
oh, I can't possibly say in public.
Nagi? Yeah. Right there, buddy.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You know me.
So I actually found the original thread where the seller talked about picking up my Defender and how it had a beautiful burn-free monitor, which he then ripped out of my game that he sold and put in his tapper and put in one with Burger Time Burn, which is what I have.
But
Which is not even a
exactly.
It's come full circle. Now you're doing that when you sell games.
Occasionally, yes, but but at least I would give a clover the Clav prize and not charge a clover the Craigslist prize. Once identified as the aforementioned clover. But anyway, not my greatest
when
regret.
You're taller than the seller.
Yes, that's very true. Not my not my biggest regret.
That's all I got.
I mean, my probably one of my regrets in the actually is it my biggest regret in the actual transaction potentially, but no, hands down, because it's funny when originally this question came up, I'm like, I don't really think I have any, and then I was like, oh yeah.
Burn it
That's
forward.
Right. Yeah. Fucking get away.
Is his last name begin with or end with an N?
Yeah.
N with an N?
I just wondering. I was just wondering. Is this his phone?
You can type it in chat. Oh, you don't have a computer in front of you, huh?
Oh no, I do. No,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I.
He's broadcasting from his TV, Mock. No, I'm just kidding.
No, so my regret, my like what the fuck, and I lost money on the sale, is fucking Getaway.
Oh, you sold your Getaway.
And
yeah, to Mike. I sold it to Mike Mann at a loss.
Oh, okay.
Yep, who I think he didn't keep it for very long at all.
Yeah.
And then he sold it for, I think, exactly what I sold it to him for. So at least he didn't take a loss and he got to enjoy Getaway for a little while. But yeah, I realized I didn't know what I was doing. I overpaid. It was a game I ended up really not.
Pinballs are like it's gotta be stressful when you're buying a pin because you're not talking about a couple $100. It's in the thousands.
Yeah.
And
which
timing
scares
of the market,
the fuck out of me.
If you can imagine
timing of the market
pins,
when you're ready to sell
like,
one, if you really need to get rid of it, you might take a few $100 loss.
Yeah.
Just
well, and that's to say, it's
Yeah,
like
you need
the
to
thing is
hurry.
like put it in like arcade perspective, like buying games, like drop the zero or drop the last digit off the end, and that's like what it's like buying arcade games.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, like that digit changes very slightly, and then you've lost hundreds of dollars. That's the way pinball is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That'll be new territory for me come winter, spring.
Yeah.
Like
assuming I can find the pin I want. Yeah.
And
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say about that post I showed you guys about that guy that I sold my Spider-Man to, how he reposted it for $1,000 more than what I got for it. And I noticed it's already off Clav, not Clav, off Craigslist.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if he got that. I'm like, oh,
god damn it.
But is he
my French? But you're an asshole.
Yeah. Is he kind of like a retailer that like offers warranties and stuff, or?
Yeah, he charges tax on top. So he's a business.
Yeah, that's where people might pay more for that quote unquote peace of mind. Even though it's not really, but.
He left all my mods on it.
Yeah.
But I have one regret. That same seller of Carrie's photo bombing our picture.
Yeah.
It wasn't even on our Hangout.
I know.
Someone should pull
I know.
Mr. Bean. Someone should pull a Mr. Bean and Photoshop like a hand-drawn little stick figure face over his little smiley face.
What I will say that gets maybe this was the lesson from Getaway, and I did get to enjoy it for a while, but I did sell it at a loss. And the only game I've sold. Oh, no, I take it back. I sold that pole position cabinet, but I didn't own it long enough to feel like I really owned it. But I will say, the big takeaway, and whenever like people are talking about games and I'm thinking about getting this, and where they haven't played it very much, is that my takeaway from that one is before you sink some significant change into a game, you gotta know it and like it. Because I didn't really know it. I went more by reputation, like, oh, this is a good investment, this is a good game, this is a good title, and it's like, it wasn't a good. Yeah, it wasn't a good title for me.
Yeah,
that's shit. Maybe I should play Lord of the Rings more than once.
No, you shouldn't. That's it. You've played it enough. It's a great game. Shut up.
Never buy pinball based on anybody else's opinion but your own. Ever.
Yeah, it's just you're not gambling with $200.
I absolutely fell in love with that theme in that game and the gameplay at CAX.
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Harry was just talking about the Getaway, which ironically was the machine that I was going to also talk about. And
the theme of your divorce
for different reasons. But I love that game. I love it. I think it's fucking great.
And a lot of people do
every single time. But it's so personal. Pinball is so personal. It's don't even compare it to arcade games in any way. I know it's a natural progression because of you're in an arcade. There's pinball machines. There's arcade machines, but they couldn't be more different.
I had to get away for like 2 months over here. Remember that was Keith had it over here for a while.
I got away.
I thought it was. It got away from me.
Yeah.
But I thought it was okay. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a game I'd buy.
I mean, look, people all over the world are losing their minds over Metallica, and like Stern can't make enough of them. They just keep selling and selling and selling.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
And Steve, I've tried to play the Keith's
I know you don't like it, but I love it. Yeah.
I
wish
don't like it.
if they had a different theme. Me and Carrie have both. I like the Aerosmith pin, the gameplay a lot, but I don't like the theme. So like, if they took that, I mean, I don't mind Aerosmith, but I would like a different theme. Like if they themed it out. I'm more of a movie guy, so I like those. I tend to like those themes or the original like company themes. I don't know what do you call those, where it's like Funhouse, like the pins where it's not based on anything except
it's not based on a theme. It's their own created.
Oh, Steve, that's I need one more drink and then you'll be properly oriented.
He's climbing the walls.
Yeah, like Whitewater is a non-themed game, like from a franchise. It's a game not based on a franchise. Is kind of what they.
There you go. That's a good.
Based on its own, but I was
gonna say I'm not a big music theme fan of pins. Not yet. If they did a Michael Jackson one, okay, you got me.
See, Griffin doesn't like the
Chili Peppers. Chili Peppers would be huge. I would take a Chili Peppers pin.
No, like.
Wouldn't Chili Peppers be a fucking sweet?
It would be, except I wouldn't like their last album or two. I like their old stuff.
No.
Oh my God, The Getaway is like The Getaway is one of the best albums they put out, dude. It's so.
I'm an old school.
Okay, I guess I can see Michael Jackson, but just don't ever unlock the Neverland Ranch. Easter egg.
Is that at midnight?
It's bedtime at Neverland Ranch, right?
Oh no! I mean, I can go along with the jokes, but midnight strokes, and all you hear is
when the big hand touches the little hand, it's bedtime.
Oh, yeah. That's terrible.
The Bubbles has got to be in there. Chimpanzee.
Yeah.
Something to do with spanking a monkey. I don't know what it is though.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Carrie, come on, Moonwalker. I know that. Yeah. Actually, local guy to me, Tom Nutter Pac-Man. He's got a Moonwalker that he's been debating about selling. Yeah, the arcade game, the vid.
You know what? That's something that keeps popping up. For, Taylor likes to play that with her friends on the main cab.
Coincidentally,
my Taylor likes to play that too. I've actually kept an eye out for one because she enjoyed it. I've never played it.
Oh, you haven't?
Nope.
Oh,
we played it at CAX. We played it at CAX.
You're right. We did play it at CAX. You're right.
That's an isometric game. Yeah. You can be three Michael Jacksons uncovering the children.
Yeah.
It's like 5.
So creepy in retrospect.
Yeah. You hit the super button and they do the beat it dance.
All right. Did anybody not go? Everybody gone?
No, I haven't gone.
All right.
So has anyone not gone? No.
Yeah. Actually, it was a getaway machine, just like Carrie. I mean, I think you have to
a little late on that one.
Definitely regret buying pins, just because of the sheer cost of them.
Are you sucking on a laser pointer?
Laser pointer.
With ganja in it.
Laser pointer. Yeah. This is the sign that I'll be leaving in about 5 minutes because
the Maui Wowie.
Completely
5 minutes.
unintelligible.
How about you leave in
10? So I got the opportunity to trade a couple of games for a high speed to the getaway. And I'd already had one, which I really enjoyed, and I ended up selling because it made sense to do it at the time for whatever game I was pursuing. And then another one came up, and it was this guy that I knew up the road, and we'd done some stuff on games together before. So he had this pin, and he'd LED'd it all and everything, and he was like, okay, if you give me your burger time, and I don't know, it was like $500 or $600 or something, then I'll trade it for the high speed. And I was like, yeah, I'll totally do that. It's a great pin. I really enjoy playing it. I'm looking for some more pins. So I virtually agreed to do the deal sight unseen, which of course is the first no. But I've done stuff with this guy before, so I didn't really think I had any sort of cause for concern. So I get my burger time, which was like pretty much mint. After I'd done a full restore on it, threw it in the car, took it over to his place, which is 5 or 10 minutes from my house. And I get there, and when we get out the car, what's up, buddy? Blah blah blah. Unload it, get it into his house, and like completely just like do the deal type of thing. And then I walk in and I look at his high speed machine. And he did say to me, he's like, well, there is some insert wear on the playfield. I get there, and there's a lot of insert wear on this playfield. And I'm just like...
It's bore out.
I mean, it's just like so many inserts had chipping and lifting on them. And I kind of just managed to dig myself so far into this deal that... for me to pull out there and then after literally taking the machine to his house, putting it in his game room, and I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. It's a player's machine, and I won't mind, and I'm just going to play it for the fun because it's such a great game. And I think I'm telling myself this more than I'm telling this guy this. So.
Right.
I load it up, I put it in the car, I bring it home, I put it in the lineup. And the trouble with pinball, I mean, playfield damage on pinball it's the equivalent of having a monitor with a gun out and burn all over the screen. You
I can relate now.
You're staring. You walk up. As soon as you hit that play button, you're staring right at the thing, which is fucked.
All the time.
And
it affects the ball too.
Yeah, I mean, it totally. The game is not the same. I mean, it's not like it's unplayable. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, some pinball guys would say that, but it's like, but it's going to play differently because of all of those
lift inserts are pretty.
Yeah, it's bad. And in the end, I got to the point where I couldn't even look at it. I couldn't enjoy the game.
Look at
because I'm just staring at this fucked playfield.
It's the reason why people tell you. Can I interject and just ask? It's the reason why people tell you don't settle for playfield wear because you can't really fix it.
No, you can fix it. It's a nightmare
in time and materials, and it is such a massive job to do a playfield
because you have to pull everything off, right?
Oh,
you have to
has to be taken out in order.
Everything.
And you better record it with a camera because it's a big endeavor to put it back.
Yeah, I bet.
And then add it's my first time 2 times bonus to that. So whatever it would have taken you, double it because the first time you've done it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. And then the cost of a new one, a replacement, I'm sure isn't cheap.
Never, ever buy a pinball machine with playfield wear unless you are the guy that just will genuinely not care about it for your entire life, or 2, you've already done 20 playfield swaps. You know?
Yeah. What can I so when you talk about like don't buy anything with any playfield wear, do you mean like is there a level like that's acceptable or
no, I would say there is no level that's acceptable. The only thing that you could possibly let slip is wear around the drops and the shoots on the playfield.
Because you can put a cliffy there, right?
Yeah. You can put a cliffy on it and be good. You know, so that's okay. But,
or maybe a decal that might have like slightly come off.
Is there,
you know,
my thing is like, are you just going to automatically notice if it's playfield? Like for the average Joe, for me, like when I look for my first pin and I'm looking at, what defines playfield wear? Like what am I looking for particularly?
There's like 3 main things that you want to look for. One is the typical wear you're going to find on drop scoops, all the pop out holes, all that kind of stuff. That's just where the wood wears away over time on the edges because the ball has worn it down. So that's
around those drop targets there's wear is what
just
you're looking for?
Any place where the ball drops into a hollow in the playfield or drops down into the playfield for some reason, typically you're going to see wear around those areas, and they are the easy ones because you can get a cliffy and pop it over it and never worry about it ever again. So
some areas you won't even see too, like Attack from Mars is a drop part in the back. You don't even see it, and if there's wear there, who cares? It's where you can go in. Yeah,
you could go in, do a little repair. If it doesn't look too good, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see it. So that's the kind of personal choice where you're like, I'm either completely OCD or you're like, look, as long as I can get a relatively easy and expensive fix for it, which cliffies are not, by the way, they're quite expensive. You can at least let it go at that. And that's my Adams family. I have scoops and protectors in the areas on my Adams.
But what I'm asking though is the things that you guys talk about. Don't settle for this. Like, what am I looking for? Like in particular, am I looking for like a streak or am I looking for some groove? I don't know.
Right. So out of those 3, like here's the second one. Wherever the plastic inserts have been pushed into the wood of the playfield, right? Those inserts are put in because obviously you want to light them from below, and they're put in with an adhesive that glues them in place. So expansion and contraction over time, because typically the most common reason for that is games that have been put in non-temperature controlled environments, right? So they see extremes of heat and cold, so they get them the most amount of expansion and contraction. So over time, you can see those inserts either drop into the playfield, and you're talking 1/10 of a millimeter. I mean, it can be a tiny amount of shift, or they come up out of the playfield, and depending on which way they've been squeezed, basically, by the wood around them. Wherever you get
Wait, did
that
you say
difference
squeezed by the wood?
Squeezed by the wood. Yes. Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to catch up here.
I'm trying to learn about what to look for on pinball.
And not only that, Joel, but also when it lifts up, if it slightly lifts up, it pushes on the clear coat, and then you get what's called ghosting, which is like this white film.
It's like an air bubble underneath it.
It sort of looks like that. It's awful.
Separates from the surface of the clear insert. But of course, anywhere you have a deviation in heights between two surfaces, and then you get a metal ball rolling across the top, you have a stress point wherever that edge is created by that deviance in those two areas. And again, you're going to see a similar kind of white edging or peeling or ghosting, or in the bad examples, it's already cracked in the shape of the insert. And then the ball has started chipping away at that crack. So you actually start to see that crack get worse and worse over time. So, of course, that's really going to affect the play of the ball whenever it comes down the playfield and hits any one of those things.
I think when I get ready to buy or think about buying a pin, I think all you guys just need to come to Minnesota and we can all go out together.
If you do,
I can be like, all right, guys, what do you think?
Hey, Jim, if you do a Google search for like the new Ghostbusters pin and put in ghosting, and you'll see like there's so many people that had that problem.
Yeah, the early playfields had a lot of problems.
They'll show you some examples of what we're talking about, because it's pretty devastating and awful, and it should be unheard of for a brand new pin like that. That's why everybody was like shitting bricks over it.
To be honest, Jim, especially on your first machine, you just want to enjoy it, right?
Right.
You just want to enjoy playing pinball and owning a pinball machine. That's the same advice for the person that buys a first arcade machine, right? It's like, don't buy a project. So when you go and look at it, if you see anything on the playfield that draws your eye, just walk away. If it's going to cost you an extra $300 or $400 between that machine you just saw and one that's got no noticeable damage anywhere on the playfield, just spend those next few months that you're going to be looking for that machine, saving that extra $300.
Okay.
And just pay the extra you need to get the machine that you want. That's the best advice with pinball buying in the beginning, at least. You know.
So Griffey,
pay more for the right machine.
Pay more for the right pin. Yeah.
So more in the case of your getaway, did you wind up trading it or selling it for okay price, or what happened with it?
I think I sold it, and I got real lucky, and I actually basically managed to get about the cash value out of it that I paid for it. So I think I got away really lucky there. The thing that pissed me off, though, is that the cash value wasn't money I put down. It was a fully restored Burger Time.
Yeah.
And so if I want another Burger Time like that now, I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to have to restore one again.
Yeah.
And that's when it's that classic. I mean, people say, oh, well, I've got time into something and I've got money into something. Without getting too philosophical, money into something, fine. Whatever. You might be fine with losing it. You might be lucky enough to get it back. Hey, you might make a profit. There's not a lot of difference between those things. Steve's going for a piss, it looks like.
He's taking the long walk down that stinky alley.
When you put a lot of time into a machine, you're never going to get that back. And at some point in the hobby, that really starts to rack up. You know, and I put a lot of time into that Burger Time to get it looking the way it did. And I know if I want another one, I have to put in hours and hours and hours. And I know these days, time is way more valuable than money. Especially when you come into something as flippant as a hobby where it's not critical, essential day-to-day things that you have to do to, like, you know, pay for your kid's school or any of that stuff. So when it comes to a hobby and you start burning too many hours, especially to get back to a machine that you already had, You know what I mean?
That camera angle on
like,
Steve.
oh, this is getting painful. I think I might have a little cry now, actually. So maybe I'll... so that was it. I was bit both of us.
I was not going to take a piss. I was
You're going to.
I do.
I was logging off my second. I was logged in twice, so I went to the bathroom to log off.
All right. Anyway, with that, I am going to leave you guys.
All right, Griffey.
All right, Griff.
Nice day, Griffin.
Talk to you later, man.
Good night, Griff.
Bye.
Yep. We're one Tuesday closer to Grinkers.
Yay!
Oh man.
Are you guys going to do a podcast there at Grinkers at all?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
The problem is the connection. The internet connection there is really tricky to do.
If anything, we should just like
Have a good night.
record something.
We're closing
And
up.
then
Yeah, I think that's what
broadcast
Arcade's
it later.
doing. They're,
It is on. Everything else you can close.
Well, how
Well,
about
I
just
mean,
audio?
Yeah, I mean, Arcade kind of
we would
doing the-
broadcast before theirs, though. 'cause
What?
we're awesome.
What about just audio?
yeah, ours would be live.
Oh, just audio. That's not.
It's supposed to half alive, which would be also half dead. But you know,
There's a difference between mostly dead and all dead.
yeah.
Princess Bride, nice.
Yeah.
yes.
With all dead, there's only one thing you can do.
You go through his
Go to the
pockets.
pocket to look for loose change.
You know my favorite scene in Princess Bride? I'm a little
No,
buzzed
and
right
I
now.
don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
But my favorite scene in that movie is I can't quote it like Jim, but it's the guy who thinks he didn't drink the poison and then he just falls over.
Oh yeah.
Inconceivable.
Never go up against a ceiling when death's on the line.
And then he just falls over.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard in that part.
So good.
Yeah, that's a great.
Inconceivable.
Yes. There we go.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
All they do is look down. He just drops it. Just out of curiosity, why do you ask? Oh, I look behind me and there happened to be a boat following us.
Okay, since this is kind of a lull, I got some pointless but kind of pointful arcade trivia for you today.
Oh, Jesus, are you building this up?
Okay, not trivia. No. Like,
Yeah.
something
All right.
kind of cool. Something kind of
We have
cool.
to look over our shoulders first.
So apparently, Bach wants to create a new segment for the show. So
No, that's not a new
there you
segment.
go. Just
Quick
fucking
little
do it.
blurb. Okay,
You're speaking as if there's structure to this show, Andrew.
no, no structure.
Show.
This is a quick little.
Show.
You know how I like random trivia that's completely useless. Well, you guys might know this already. If you don't, then you'll go. This is pretty cool. So, you know the game Golden Axe.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
I know
one
the
played it,
cabinet
right?
well.
Well,
You got
I didn't
asterisks?
know this, but like all the sound, a lot of the sound effects for the screams were all taken from 80s movies like Rambo and
Yep.
Conan the
First blood.
Barbarian.
First blood.
Oh,
And, yeah,
You kill
so
a guy.
I
He
just-
goes, oh my god!
oh,
And that's
interesting.
from the guy falling off the cliff from First Blood.
yeah, so here I'll post a link if you want to check it out on YouTube. Someone like shows the scene from Golden Axe, and then they show the scene from the movie. Scene from
Wow.
Golden Axe, scene from the movie. So you get to see what clips were taken from what.
There's a really good one when
Really
you
awesome.
you kill a guy and he goes, oh my god! That's from First Blood.
So like, you know the guy that falls out of the helicopter in Rambo, who's trying to shoot Rambo, and you know Rambo throws a rock at him or something, he falls. Ah, ah, ah. And then they show the scene in Golden Axe where the villagers are getting kicked. Ah, ah, ah. So anyway, check out that link I sent you. I just thought it was pretty amazing how they just ripped off, audio from those iconic 80s movies.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
That's
Anyway,
cool.
That's your pointless arcade trivia for tonight. You know that? You know Conan the Barbarian at the very end where the guy sets off the trap and like I think he hits something with the hammer, and then this like spike comes around and goes right in his chest. And he goes,
yeah. I'm watching that right now. Actually,
guys in Golden Axe.
Crazy.
So yeah, check that link out, and you guys will get a kick out of it, I think. So.
I had a brush with geeky arcade greatness today that I was not expecting, although not quite arcade like our games, but with the cartridges. No. So I had shit show of a day, fucking shit show of a day. Like, ugh. Anyway, my water heater goes out, and I have to leave work early to meet the plumber to fix my water heater. And so I usually keep my garage door closed, but I was actually working on Tron. I wanted to paint the side of Tron so I can put some side art on, which all very exciting. That was the best part of the day. That and my brush with arcade greatness. So the door happens to be up, and I see this white pickup truck go by, kind of slow. And then the white pickup truck comes by again. And then now I'm vacuuming my carpet, and I'm not paying attention. And next thing you know, I hear this female voice, and I'm like, ah! Because I'm vacuuming. And this gal comes by, and she's like, Senior, I've driven by so many times. Turns out she's a neighbor. She's been wanting to talk to me, but I never had my garage door open because I get a lot of looky-loos and people commenting. So I just try to keep it
That's why I always open the door when you're at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like all the comments?
Jimbo works in your monitors naked.
Yeah.
And then you try to spell things while you're away.
No wonder this woman stopped by. She's like, "Where's that man who works in your arcade machine?"
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I want to see more of his butt.
It's no Gleek butt. But it's
not the pool boy. He's like the arcade repair boy.
Yeah, totally. He takes turns off of free play. And
people come over and they ask me questions. I start speaking in Spanish to throw them off. Do you know the Dorito song?
I want to see more about his arcade toolkit.
Yeah. So she introduces herself and blah blah blah, and then she says, "Well, he doesn't want me to tell you, but my boyfriend was designed art for Atari," and I'm like, "What?" So of course we have to go over to the and he actually was really cool and was an artist and did art for the cartridges for not so much the 2600 but the 5200 cartridges, which honestly I'm not familiar with. So he was talking, but he's actually mentioned in that Atari art book.
Oh wow!
Right, yeah. And I said I had seen it, but I haven't actually. I don't own a copy of the book because he would have autographed it for me, which is so cool. He actually doesn't live too terribly.
What did he do? Because I had that book right.
His name is Terry Hoff, and he did the asteroids.
Sorry, Jim, I've met someone.
Wait, he did the asteroids for the 5200?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what that was. I only know the Atari cartridge, the 2600.
5200 is a big fucking beast.
Yeah, because that's what I owned.
For controllers and games and stuff. It's got this big empty compartment. The cartridges are a bit bigger, and then the controllers have like a keypad on them.
Sorry, so
let me go ahead and demonstrate real quick. There is a 2600 cartridge. There is a 5200 cartridge.
And there's Gak's penis.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, did you say Terry Hoff?
Yes.
All right, so that's page 208 right here.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, he's not even front page. Psh, he
doesn't so here is Terry Hoff.
You're so funny.
On the in the art of Atari.
Damn it, he's way sexier than I am.
And he looks different now.
He is way more attractive than I am. What are you talking about?
No, you're younger than he is now.
Those glasses sell the story. Look at that.
All right, guess I gotta go glasses shopping. Fucking A.
So he is clearly more than mentioned. He is featured.
Yes.
In this book.
I will be talking to you guys on the Slack support feed tomorrow.
That's right.
You should have him on the show.
Andrew, is there Space Invaders art in there? Like
it's not done by. It's done by artist's name. Let's see.
So Flamate. FLIMATE, I think.
I don't see it.
Flamate.
Nope.
He did. he actually did the original Tempest arcade machine art.
Tempest.
But he did Atari cartridge art too, like the box art.
Yeah.
He did Space Invaders for sure.
Like the Pac-Man one, which is
Yeah,
I actually really like that art for the Atari 2600 cartridge.
Oh, that's great. That's the reason why I bought this book. Is it's fucking awesome.
He wasn't like eating pellets. He was kind of like eating wafers.
It looked like sticks of gum.
Yeah, sticks of Trident gum.
Fucking brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
the artwork
Andrew,
is
I
amazing.
totally forgot I bought this book already.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Well, that's a good point though. Like I swear, I think you think of the 2600 and like what the artwork sold the game, and it also sold your thought process, your imagination.
Yeah,
because
imagination.
like you look at all of those games have this elaborate artwork, and I remember like, wow, this is great. And then you play the game, and yeah, it might just be blocks and stuff, but you're already, your mind is already there. Like you're like, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is what's going on.
So Andrew, page 22, 23, 29, 31, 45, 248.
Holy shit.
316, 320, and 346 is Bob Flamante.
All right.
Damn.
22.
So
How many of those is he nude in?
So
Where's the centerfold?
like stuff that like comes from this book that I get inspiration when
Look,
I'm
it's
doing
great when there's
design.
VR on.
Look at that. VR.
VR porn in its infancy. Swipe right. No, oh, no.
No, I mean like the artwork in this
up and down
book is fucking brilliant. It's awesome. This is a great. I think that this hardcover book, which is amazing and thick, look, big hardcover book,
Thick
$20.
and hard.
Yeah,
Thick and hard for only $20. What a deal!
I want to say like $20. And
Okay, so here's the picture right here I'm talking about. The guy,
Invaders, there it
All
is.
the guy right here with the.
let me
pro-
stop presenting. Hold on.
That's what I
I'll
say.
present Chris here. There you go. All right, Chris, you got it.
So this guy right here, that's Bob Flamante. He actually did. That's Atari Star Wars art there.
Oh yeah, doing the next to Star Wars, the mini
He
version.
has a mock-up prototype right there.
Yeah.
Like a miniature. So he, his niece, my wife's a school teacher, a student in her class. The student's mother is his niece, and she came over here.
California, so of course the shit is out there.
So she came over here one time, maybe a year and a half ago, and she knew I had arcade games, and she came out in the garage and was asking about it, and she was trying to explain Tempest. She didn't know the name of the game. She's like, "Yeah, my uncle designed the art for that." And I'm like, "Oh, right here." And it was like 3 feet away from where we were talking. But his signature is on the Tempest art. So he did all the original Tempest arcade machine art.
Wow.
And he did. I think he was involved, obviously, with Star Wars there.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing stuff. I keep wanting to. I've reached out to her a couple times, but he's in his like mid 80s now, I think. That I'd love to like meet him and talk to him and get pictures of what he's done. But yeah, amazing stuff.
Put that shit in your YouTube channel. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah, he lives in San Jose area, I think. So,
I mean, you live in California, so like that's the land of Atari. So
right?
all
Oh,
are in your guys' backyard. So the fact that Carrie, you ran across someone, and then Gak, you ran across. That's, of course, you guys did, because like that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's all that was like right there.
Yeah, well, I've talked before about going to high school with Nolan Bushnell's daughter. I mean, it's like, that's
no
what we, no biggie. Melissa, hung out. But it was really,
that
but it was
chick cannot hold her liquor, and when she gets drunk, she totally hits my way.
Keep presenting.
You're spilling down your prototype.
Yep.
Prototype is soaking.
Well, I'll ring it out later. Drink it.
Look at that, dude.
So it was very fun listening to him, and hopefully he and I will get to see him and his girlfriend again, and we can chat some more because I ended up getting some work text and I had to go. But it was cool hearing him talk about, some of the art development. And he was talking about how, as an artist, it was really fun. He was not a gamer, and that they would get together with the programmers and the developers, and they'd talk about the game and they'd do a demo. And he's like, they were so simple and we could pretty much do whatever we wanted. And he was talking about like Centipede, which I forgot who. Is it Eugene Mosh? I forgot who he said did that art. It's like, for that one, you had like a more defined character, and there were certain other things where it's like, okay, you're a little more confined with what you were going to do. But otherwise, it was pretty much like, yeah, it's almost like he was talking about like, we didn't really care what was going on with the game. Because I was talking about how, some of the art, it's so beautiful. And then right, and then you see this fantastic art, and then you actually see the graphics of the game, and it's a little bit like, wah, wah, wah.
And it looks like this, pretty much. This is like
yes,
seriously,
I love like the insert of the games. It's like it's totally like
the artwork is what had to sell us on the game back then. Unless it was like an arcade-based game, you didn't know about it.
No, you had to use your imagination when you were playing these games.
And the artwork set artwork set the stage, though. That's what set the.
It's like
adventure, right?
Tennis, if you can
adventure. You're killing the duck, right? Not the dragon.
Oh, there you go. There's the adventure. That's the castle in Adventure right there.
Yeah.
Right.
And the dragon.
Andrew.
Nice.
I'm trying to talk so that I get to be presented, so I'm just trying to talk over the rest of you guys. But that's the castle from Adventure, and it's like that's the yellow castle. That's where you would start in the game, and then you have to go around and get the pieces of the keys to get into the white and the black castles to get the rest of the stuff. So you can get the chalice and then bring it back to this castle and then win. But that's a castle. No, it's not. It's like 6 pixels.
And the first game to have an Easter egg. Boom!
Yeah, it does have an Easter egg in it. Yep.
Has the developer's name in it, right?
The dot.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Hey, what about like we were just talking about Defender? Do you think it's kind of odd that they didn't on the side art show like spaceships and a spaceship shooting other? They show like Bacon Man on the side. What is that?
I know. I love Bacon Man.
Actually, the side art for Defender and Defender 2 especially, I think that's some classic, amazing Atari artwork. It has got the dude in like the racing helmet. I'm sorry, Defender. I was talking about pole position. Jesus Christ.
He's in right.
All right.
We're talking about Bacon.
I'm done talking.
Bacon Man. It's Bacon Man.
With like a lot of like electricity around him and stuff, like comic book style. It's like, what part of the game is this? The little people on the ground, maybe? I don't know. Kind of weird.
Shaking my head. I could not make the transition between Atari and fucking Williams apparently tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. We'll
Steve, I was going to respond to your comment about the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
You asked about that. I don't own any of the DVDs. There's just a collection online that I downloaded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to post it right on Facebook, even though this is broadcast to at least 2 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
but yeah,
3,
it was
sometimes 2 people.
So yeah, I was wondering if that was something that you found.
Every year I have to find
every
year I have to find I just download the latest one, but now they're up to what season? I don't even know.
How many episodes do you have of that though? How many seasons is it?
I just pick out the so I have 27. So I guess this year I would have to download number 28.
See, I'm an early Simpsons watcher, so I've seen the first like 5 or whatever.
My favorites are still like season 10 and older, like season 1 through 10. Those are still like the ones I enjoy the most. But some of them have gotten pretty clever over the years. It's fun to pick them out. The one of the funny things about that, I was telling Carrie because we were watching a bunch, is that for the longest time, I thought, like, for instance, the one with the evil Krusty doll, for the longest time when I was a kid, when I was younger, I always thought that was a spoof, a parody of Child's Play, until I watched all the Twilight Zone episodes. I'm like, no, that's totally the Talking Tina. Yes.
Talking Tina, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Twilight Zone spoofs, and I never realized.
Isn't Talking Tina in the pinball game? He's like,
Yes.
he's in the
Yes.
shanty.
Here's your extra ball.
Yeah, the extra ball.
And then it blows up. Yeah.
Yeah. Like everything in that fucking game.
Is the Twilight Zone still working pretty good, Carrie?
Yes, but the issue I'm having right now, because there always seems to be a little something. It's actually I have a fucking credit dot. It drives me crazy.
Oh,
It's
I have
actually
one too.
it plays, and honestly it plays perfectly.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I have the dot drives me fucking batty. It's not registering when a ball goes into the gumball machine, so it actually plays just fine. Yes, it's totally what I do each time I power the game up.
Yeah.
And it goes bam, 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 ting, or whatever that noise is. Yeah. I hate it, but I think I just need to clean the sensor. But I can't get it's that wide body, and I can't get it up.
Is that an arcade body?
Yeah, exactly. It's a wide arcade body, and I just can't get it up. So I need to have someone. I need to have someone hold it up for me. So I think it's probably just the opto. I just need to clean it.
Well, I know what my job is the next time I'm on.
I have a credit dot on Medieval Madness, and it drives me crazy that it's there. It's like, why is it there? And then I check it, what that says is wrong with it, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm like, so then I look online, and other people have had the same issue, and they go, yeah, the game will play fine. It's just one of those little weird glitchy things that the only way to get rid of it is to do a factory reset. I'm like, oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'll lose all my scores
and have to reset and replay and all that shit.
It requires a cheek sneak of the score table.
I wonder if that would work.
There's really nothing wrong with it. It just has that
Well,
dot, but it fucking bugs me every time I turn it on, and bang, 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 bang.
Right, and it's funny how
sounds like my Star Trek.
I was yeah, I know since day
Engage.
I hate that. Like,
reach down there and touch
So,
those
yeah.
fucking, like those switches just to make that thing stop for a week.
And like an outsider, they wouldn't think twice about it, and they wouldn't care that this little dot after the word free play or.
Well, yeah, only the operator is supposed to know what that dot means, but
right.
So
Oh my god, it drives me crazy. I hate it.
You only see it for a second.
It goes up and I flip it off. When I power those games up, and Twilight Zone takes a moment after Tales from the Crypt to power up, and so when it does its little thing, I flip it off each and every time. I'm like, fucker, you play just fine. Don't give me that shit. But yes, I love that game. I love that game a lot.
You know what Keith was telling me about how like Twilight Zone is like a really fun, popular pin, but it's like an operator's nightmare because there's always something going out on that play field. He says.
Well, there's
too many toys on it.
Oh yeah, there's so much that can go wrong. There's magnets, and there, two places with magnets. You have the upper play field with magnets the power, and then you have the spot right by the gumball. Yeah, that back magnet. You have like everything but a shaker motor.
You got the gumball machine, and then you've got ramps to upper play field. You got a lot of shit going on, and then you got the clock with the two hands around. There's so much shit on that. They just went crazy. Those developers.
They did. I love that the clock actually tells time.
Oh, it does.
Like that is. It does. So when you first power it up, it takes a minute. It'll go into like, hey, do you want to play game mode? But if you don't play it for, I forgot what it is. It's probably about 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden, it actually tells the time, the actual no shit time, and you program. That's one of the things you program in when you're in the setup menu, is you program the date and time, and so it will tell.
That's really cool. I didn't even know it did that. I thought it was to look at and it just spun during a mode or whatever.
Nope. Otherwise, it is a clock. It is so cool.
That is pretty cool, I have to say.
Yeah.
Do you have the glass gumballs in the gumball machine? Do you know about that?
The ceramic.
Yeah. I think that there's the ones I have are. Yeah.
Because normally it's just an empty gumball, and that's like a mod. People put glass gumballs in it to make it look like a gumball machine. So
yeah, that's the one mod that it came with, and then I added in. When I bought it, it came with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the fellow I got it from had put that mod in, and then he also had like a little phonograph thing, which doesn't light up or do anything. And then I had added a twinkle light effect to the gumball machine, which I really love. And that's pretty much been my only.
Is the piano yours?
I don't have the piano mod. That's a cool. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Get a little red piano sitting down there. Oh, it's so neat looking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got the? Do you have the spaceship that's on the lower right? I think it's the lower right slingshot.
Nope.
How
I don't
about
have
the
any
Robbie,
other.
Robbie the robot? There's some people put that in. They light up his head. Pretty cool.
Right?
Let's see if we
It's
can
like-
spend more of Carrie's money.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. You now discussed about $1,500 worth of.
Carrie, do you have the gold-plated legs?
You go on eBay and you get a Robbie the robot for like $13 or whatever, and then you put some LEDs in it.
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
there you go.
hey, it's like a $15-$20 mod.
Yeah,
You make
yeah, that's true. The the piano mod is high up there. There's a there's a camera mod.
Oh yeah,
there's a camera that I like that one. Things that help point out where you should shoot the ball. I like more than just like the plain decorative ones because there's already so much on that play field.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Honestly, it's like even without all the mods. I mean, and I loved my twinkly gumball mod because that corner was so dark before it, and I think that one's really nice. And I have not LED'd the game at all, and quite frankly, I'm really happy without doing the LEDs.
Yeah,
I thought about it, but
if it's a dark machine, like I was telling Andrew, like his Judge Dredd that was pretty dark. I was like, you can put some like spotlights and put them, that's what I did on Medieval Madness. I just put them in right where the slings are, and it really lights up the playfield awesomely. You put like you can even put black light. I think that's what I have on mine. A little black light LEDs in the spotlight, so it really lights up the playfield, kind of like a Tron in a way.
Like a glow effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just really makes everything
That's
pop.
cool.
And Keith really did an awesome job. I wish you guys could see it. Maybe when you guys come down in March.
San Diego next year.
Yeah, if you guys come down, you got to see Keith's Monster Bash.
Hashtag Matt.
So awesome. Looked up so good. So
yeah, because Monster Bash can be a really dark game.
Yeah, well, his used to be pretty dark until he did a treatment on it, and it looks awesome now.
Are you guys racist? Jesus.
Take a knee.
No, we're we're just talking about how.
It went over my head.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, come on!
I know.
I'm not a football player. No,
No, yeah. So both Judge Dredd and Star Trek, especially next to Ghostbusters, look dark as fuck.
Yeah, Ghostbusters is bright, right? So those newer games are bright.
Yeah.
I would imagine once you get one LED, it's going to be rough.
It's really hard having it next to it. Yeah. So I've got LED kits for both the other machines, including spotlights and a bunch of other stuff. But it's so much fucking work to start swapping that shit in that I haven't done it.
Well, spotlights aren't too bad. There's a screw in onto the sling.
I know. It's just one more project.
I think having to take
well, because like
ramps,
yeah,
I hate taking ramps out and shit. That's a nightmare. Ugh.
All right, looks like Dave's signing out.
Yeah, actually, we need to shut the shut down because like
it's late.
Yeah, we can shut it down.
Yeah.
So a little over 2 weeks away.
Less, barely 2 weeks.
Right?
And
Yeah.
Can't wait to joke with you guys again.
We'll be touching the flesh.
So yes, we had a lot of regulars on tonight. Some I've seen not in a little while. We had Nagy from Germany.
Nagy,
that's a good one. Wally's Arcade, the Davelo, Steve Art was out there. Miss you, buddy.
Is Davelo going to Grinkers?
Unless he used a different name, I don't know. I'm not sure.
No.
Who else we got out there? I don't know. Scrolling. Frober's
Brian.
Awesome. Did Jack Lick? Maybe. Slick Nick was out there. And Frizzle Fried was out there.
Fritz.
Oh yeah.
So,
I go to Brady.
It's a good time. We'll be seeing them in a few weeks.
That's right. Not wikiing, it's braiding.
It's a braid. I'm leaving the show.
Whoever Jake Returns is, I'm not sure. That's a new one.
I think he might have been a.
Oh yeah,
someone
yeah. Troll.
Famous. Yeah, troll.
He was yeah.
But he was ignored, so he was short lived.
We did not feed that troll. tonight.
And Gleek was out there, so Gleek, come back, hang out with us.
He says he's on. He listens all the time. He just doesn't type. That's what you put in.
Yeah. He did send me a message recently that he's just been like super crazy swamped at work. I can relate. I can relate, buddy. So, yeah.
Yeah, come on back to the show and show us your crack again.
Right. I think I said Wally's Arcade already. Pinkman. So yeah, good times, and a little over 2 weeks away. So
yeah, so actually, we're gonna do a show next week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The following week, are we doing a show right before Grinkers? A couple of days.
Oh, absolutely.
If people are game for it, yeah.
Like
I say why not?
All right, so that'll be 96 and 97. Unfortunately, if we do a show at Grinkers, it'll be 98.
We're going to do 3 5-minute shows to get
Yeah.
Too bad it doesn't follow in 100, right?
I mean, yeah, we're gonna miss 100 for Grinkers, but you know what? Actually,
we'll do 1 half-an-hour show, and then we'll just randomly break it up into 3 parts. So like mid-sentence, it'll be like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Part 2.
And I'm Orange Whip, I miss you, buddy. You know, he's been missing a lot this year. I'm gonna go ahead and screw the thumb down, a little pressure on him, dude. Come back next week, and maybe he'll be the one that can pull it together to try to do something at Grinkers.
Something to make it happen at Grinkers.
We'll see.
Well, for how much that guy's been sick, his immune system's going to be amazing in about 2 years.
You're right.
But even still, that'll be show 98.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome if we could do like a recap of Grinkers for show 100 for our 100th. It's our centennial.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had way more than 100 shows.
Episode 100, Return of Steve Barbie.
But it's
no. He's been regular. He's been here last couple of weeks, so it's been pretty awesome.
Right? All right. That's why, Steve, we need to do more than 1 Grinkers event every year just to get you on the show on a more.
So this is 95, but I mean, even talking about Jimbo's, all your
we've got like.
How many? Probably
if you count those,
10 more or something.
I've got like
we're way over 100
7 of those.
Yeah.
I've got at least 5 if you don't include the one that's unlisted because of a certain rant.
Hangout more.
Yes, there's bonus.
So maybe we just call it
the special features if we did Hangouts.
For all those who want to listen to that, that's there.
That'll be on the Hangouts Blu-ray.
Oh shit! So Jimbo, actually, you did the Arcade Outsiders best of shows. Could you go back through 100 fucking episodes?
No. And you know why? Is because I can't listen. I could not bring myself to listen to this in my car. That's how I did the Outsiders.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I would listen to this in the car.
Could someone put together actually is painful?
Yeah, but the whole time I'd be like, God damn it, Jim, would you shut up?
I know, as painful as it would be.
That's the difference. I can stand listen to everyone else except myself.
Could someone do that? I mean, you're a listener of Arcade Outsiders, which is the reason why that whole thing happened. So could
funny thing about
one of our listeners actually do a best of? I don't know.
It'd be super short.
Throw it out there.
And I don't know because I'm part of this one.
I know, right? Like an hour. It'd be like
the John Jacobs.
It would be scraping the bottom of the barrel for 100 episodes for the shit that.
So all right,
for the 3 viewers that give a damn.
Let's speak just pure volume. I mean, Jimbo, there was. Okay, so 100 episodes of Arcade Outsiders. Average episode 2 hours. Something like that. Maybe a little more.
So the first 10 were probably about 3 hours, and then everything beyond that was about, on average, about 2 hours. And
let's just call it 250 hours of audio, right?
Of audio.
You edited it down to maybe an hour ish.
I edited it down to there were 3 shows, or 3 episodes. The first 2 were straight up bits from the show, like funny little like one-liners. The third one was just songs. That was Andrew's idea. It was a good idea. So it's just a musical thing.
Right.
But on average, and I haven't looked at these for a long time, but I would say on average, all three of them were between an hour and a half.
Okay, so you got about 4 hours-ish of stuff.
So out of 250, you're talking 4 hours. Do the math. Because this is no joke. From after episode like 15, maybe 20, I was on average pulling maybe 5 minutes out of an episode. Maybe on a good day. That was the stuff that legit made me laugh.
Right. Yeah.
Like not a little smirk. This is stuff that I thought was funny.
So
but that's me. Like everyone else, Joe Schmo might think some other things are funny. For instance, I did not leave
after
any.
like 100 episodes, we have maybe like 3 laughs.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when it comes down to like,
my favorite moment was what's his dick taste like? That was not my favorite.
Oh God.
We haven't heard from him in a while.
But
I was so
some
hammered.
people are like, everyone's going to be a critic. Everyone has a different sense of humor. I did not include any Bobcat stuff because I thought that got really dull.
It's like, I'm sorry.
You know what you could do for this show is you could try and find all the clips of me talking in it. It wouldn't take you very long to make that.
Well, you just have to listen through 500 hours worth.
Still, but you probably get an hour and a half, maybe total.
But
I guess I got a little bit of a gut. I got no ass. My girlfriend's like, why can't you grow an ass?
There we go.
And that's the end of our best of show. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll see you at episode 200.
Yep.
There's so many visuals on this show that it's hard to, you can't throw that into audio. That's another difference is that show is just strictly audio. We have a lot of sight jokes and a lot of visual stuff that you can't translate into audio.
And over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years, I don't know how long this has been going on for.
Oh no,
there's probably there's up to 10 at once, but there's probably been 25-ish, 30 people on.
Various people, of course. Like we could start naming off people that haven't been on the show recently that were,
and Nagi, who came on here early on. We've got
Nagi,
Steve,
Adam,
and look at Steve from Grinkers, who was actually one of our founding members of this show.
Right. And then we
had Joe and John on here.
Is it Alex, the Sky Skipper guy?
Well,
Jacob and Ryan and Pac-Man Dan. Like, there's a lot. Actually, I think there's more than you think that have been on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We've had a lot of guests. Sarah.
Yeah, there you go.
In a long time.
Kendra.
Yep.
Kendra, yep.
I mean, the list goes on. It's actually it's quite a few.
Blind Dog's been on.
Dan
Kyle.
Reed several times, but not in broadcast.
Yeah, right. As soon as it goes live, he cuts out.
Diana, was that her name? No. Who was the Who was the girl at the Afterburner spinning game?
That's Sarah, right?
That was Sarah.
That's it, Sarah. Yeah, Sarah was.
We've had a lot of people on here.
Yeah,
you had Helicopter Jesus on.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Ryerson.
That's right.
I love Helicopter.
Helicopter Jesus.
Actually, Ryerson's been on the air a few times.
How about we had Chance a few episodes?
Yep.
And I was going to talk about him earlier because Griffin was talking about like really bad pinball wear and touch-ups and all that. He did a thing where it covered like a Mario Mushroom World or something like that pinball. It was just heinous touch-up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
On this channel.
Hey, our few dedicated viewers, there's a mission for you. Go out and tally up how many different guests we've had on here. How many different people have been on here, excluding the regulars? Like tally it all up, because I'd be curious. Are we pushing 30?
Oh, Gus. Gus is on here in the chat.
Oh, yeah,
he needs to come on with us too, by the way.
Remix guy.
Pooper.
Yeah,
Pooper was on here, right, Gus? Pooper.
Yeah. Pooper,
I
yeah.
Keith was on here a little bit.
Keith's,
Josh Kowalski was the
Nano Man. I mean, we've got a lot of pseudo regulars. Pseudo.
Yeah. Have we ever had Torin on?
No, we need to.
Haven't, right?
And I missed Frizz. Frizzle Fry was on for a little bit, but I by the time I got on, I think he was logging out or something. But
didn't we have Exidy on one time?
Yeah.
Kalen was on for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Exidy.
I thought you had him on once.
Hey,
talking about a board or his warehouse or something.
Hey, Orange Whip.
Andrew
We
should
are
probably
about
answer,
to
but-
get out of here.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for Orange to shut it off.
No,
Andrew's
I
got
can
control.
shut it off.
You do? Okay. All right, so
You can zip it up.
we had a little overtime chat here talking about good times, so we will see you guys
At
next
Richmond
week.
High.
Yeah.
Yes.
I may or may not try to sign up in the garage next week. We'll see.
For arts and crafts and more.
There you
Well,
go.
Brad, it was great to see you for 30
I watched
seconds.
those videos.
Yeah.
Shit.
I want to show off some of my Nintendo games maybe next week. So
I watched your entire Hunchback video.
yeah.
I've never seen that game before. I was like, that looks kind of cool. I'd play that.
Yeah. I got 3-4 more ready to go. I just got to finish editing. Just time.
Editing's work, right?
Yes. I think you know that more than any of us, right? Yeah.
Some people don't know what work goes into editing, though. It's work.
Or sound design.
Yeah.
Sound design, too.
All right, so we'll do this every Tuesday night, roughly
Till
8
you're
o'clock
dead.
Pacific
Ish.
time-ish.
Yep.
Please come back and join us. Why don't you fucking do this every week? If you guys do it. Thank you, I guess.
Poor people.
I mean, and I say this all the time. Every time I get a chance to say it, like, don't fucking just hang out in the chat room.
Yeah.
Come join us. Like,
If there's not 10 people in the room, you're welcome.
yeah, just let us know that you want to.
I'm talking to
grab
you,
a space.
Gus, and
Gus.
Grover,
Gus.
Yeah, you guys that come back here, like just join in the conversation. Like you've been like eavesdropping on this barroom talk for a year's.
Yeah, I'm hoping for this. I'm gonna try to lay in on him. Hopefully, I'll get to chat with him for a little bit. Luop.
Yeah.
He's going to Grinkfest.
Yeah, Luop, we're gonna
be
corner
like, dude,
Luop at Grinkfest and make you fucking get a webcam.
I'm like, dude, you gotta recap some of this for us.
Right.
from a new guy perspective, let's say, right? So cool.
So, yeah. So please, for those of you who join us, that's awesome, and listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher. And why the fuck do you do this?
I don't
Hey,
I don't know why we record it, so I don't know why you listen.
So we're not going to have a show like when we're presenting awards and stuff, right? We're not going to be doing that, right?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
You mean drinkers?
I vote no, but we can talk about this.
Unless someone has a
I won't
camera.
be doing
with
it, but if somebody else like Orange Whip or somebody wants to volunteer hosting that, have at it. I will try to record as much as I can, but it'll be like a later edit thing, not anything live.
I think people get enough of us.
Yeah.
Don't you get
Let's face it.
I mean,
like most people that most of our fan base are going to be there, and I'm sorry for the folks who aren't because that sucks. But hopefully we'll catch you in San Diego or one of the other events. But
actually,
yeah.
Where do you live?
They don't want to see us. More or less.
Should we come to your home arcade and do an out-of-tournament? Maybe you should tell us. What's your next hometown? We're doing Southern California 2018.
No,
but
screw that. Nagy, we're going to Germany.
People should volunteer.
That.
That's a great idea.
Your passport's ready. And,
Germany 2020.
Boy, that's going to be a pricey.
but can you imagine the beers that we're going to have there? It's going to be fucking epic.
Right?
Germany beers.
Let's make this happen around September for Oktoberfest, and then we'll fly back.
Yeah. Oktoberfest. Oh, out of control.
I want to fly back with boots of beer that are so big that I can put them on my feet.
There you go.
They don't have games
You
out
said
there.
it, Chewy.
Who cares?
Fun games. We'll go for beer.
All right,
Anyway,
Steve.
so, I'm shutting this down. So thank you again.
Bye,
If you
everybody.
watch
Steve,
this and
thanks for
enjoy
hanging
it.
out with us tonight. Hopefully you keep coming back.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
We don't understand it, but we appreciate it. Damn it.
We do.
All right.
I hate to go and leave this pretty side.
See you tomorrow, Indiana Jones.